Yeah, yeah. Oh. I guess we're live.
Oh, shit. Oh, we're live.
We are live. Yeah.
Right.
Everyone, welcome. I'm Todd, BeerAdvocate, and this is...
Hey, everyone. I'm Edgar, BeerThugLife.
Yeah, welcome to IPA Fest in Cyberspace, broadcasting live from the brand new BeerThugLife headquarters in El Segundo.
In El Segundo, California.
That's
yes,
right, yeah.
Very excited about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got today is a very, the forecast is very clear today.
Clear, but it's hot, but I know what you're saying. Clear as
you got it, the clear IPA.
Correct.
And then tomorrow is going to be a little hazy. Yeah.
I'm looking forward for today and tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We got six beers today, pretty much all West Coast, and then 6 tomorrow.
West Coast.
Yeah, hope everyone's ready.
All right.
We already got our first one out. Little sip. So if you don't have yours out yet, go to the fridge, grab your little sip.
6.2%. Okay.
Yeah.
Easy drinking.
Yeah, this is only this is one of 2 beers I've had in the pack. All the others I haven't had before. So.
Okay.
Oh, and I had a little sip of yours.
Oh yeah.
But not enough.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah. But just want to say a big thank you to all of you for your support. To everyone behind the scenes, Britt, Talia, Claire, making it all happen. And a big thanks to Halftime for ensuring that all those packs, like over 2,000 packs, showed up cold in like 26 states.
It was like when I took it out of the box, it was still cold. I was I was tripping out,
yeah.
man. Yeah, it was very, very cold.
Yeah,
nice,
good job.
Nicely.
Yep.
Well done, guys. Cheers to that.
Yeah. I just want all this beer right now.
We're
gonna wait for Sean though.
Yeah. This is different.
We're gonna wait for Sean. Is he in the house?
Drink.
I don't know if he's. Oh, yeah, he is in the house. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Sean.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, Todd. Hey, Edgar.
Hey.
Great to see you guys.
How you
How's it
doing?
going? You got a fire going?
I know.
Dude, it's 39 and chilly rain here in Vermont.
Wow.
Not like in Cali.
It was like close to 90
We're
today.
at 90-something degrees.
Yeah.
Now,
Woo.
5.
Hot.
I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what seasons are anymore. That was us opening up your delicious little sip.
Excellent. Me too. I got to get it. There we go.
Let's try this out.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Let's just get right to it and open it up. So while we're pouring this, tell us a little bit about Little Sip.
Little Sip, little cousin to our number one flagship beer, our most signature liquid, Sip of Sunshine. Little Sip is that juicy, hop-forward, fruity, tropical, lupulin-laden IPA that comes in right at that sweet spot, 6.2%.
Cheers to you, man. Thanks for putting it in the box.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
It's just like the junior.
Tell me how to move
Sip
over.
of Sunshine. Junior.
Yeah, so Sip of Sunshine, it comes in at 8. And so over the years, a lot of people have asked us for something a little lighter or for more occasions. And this is our answer to that call for something a little bit more quaffable, a little bit more crushable.
Sessionable, correct?
Sessionable, that's right. Sip for every occasion.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a big trend of recent years to kind of do a lesser version of a popular beer. But you're saying that your fans actually were like, can you give us something that's a little bit...
Yeah, with that same juicy sort of, tropical fruit characteristic.
All the flavor, but less alcohol.
Yes. Can have more.
Yeah, though. You went too far down. You went, like you said earlier, that sweet spot, like 6%.
Yeah.
I think you would have, let me know if I'm wrong, but if you go down to like 4%, you're going to lose a lot of that backbone, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got our Super Session series, a session IPA series, a single hop session IPA series, and that one I wanted to do it a little bit lower towards the 4% alcohol range, but I found it just couldn't get enough body in there, so it clocks in almost at 4.8. But this one, it just is it's the sweet spot to me. 6% is just that perfect American IPA strength. So love my doubles all day, but this is
you can't drink them all day. Sean, just want to let you know I'm a huge fan.
Right on, thank you.
I remember years ago when I tried Sip of Sunshine. I'm here in California, so we couldn't get it here, right? So I had to trade, for your beers all the time. And I love Sip of Sunshine. I'm a huge fan of your beers, and I'm just excited to be here today and talking to you guys.
Oh, me too. I can't believe we're doing this. Here I am in Vermont. You're in California. We're drinking the same beer.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think the last time we had a beer was it Brooklyn? IPA Fest?
Yeah.
Brooklyn?
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Definitely. Yeah.
That was a while ago. Seems like half a lifetime ago now.
Pretty much is. Yeah, but we'll get back. We'll get back to that place again. I think
yes, we will. We're just about to launch the announcement for May Day tomorrow that we're reopening our beer garden in mid-May. Wow. So that'll be coming in just a few weeks. We've just been doing drive-through all winter, just take out food, beer to go. We had the beer garden open last summer, but we really miss our fans. So we're psyched to welcome them back, and we'll bring back live music over the summer. So we'll get there. I got my shots.
Yeah, I got my shot. My last one 3 days ago, and I had like a small mild headache, and a couple little chills. But I'm great now. I'm ready to get back to normal. Right.
Right on. 2 weeks to today, I'm officially vaccinated. 2 weeks from my second shot, so I can't tell you how excited I am about that.
Right. Nice, man.
So how's it? How have sales been in general since all this? I mean, things. It's great that you're opening back up again soon. How's it been up until that?
Well, Todd, it's funny because I started the opposite way. A lot of brewers start today with own premise, like come to the brewery, get the beer at the brewery. And I made my beer up at a little building next to my house in Warren, Vermont, starting back in 2008. And you might remember I had my address with BeerAdvocate listed in the website, and the magazine would still show up at my place. It said not open to the public, Warren, Vermont, because we weren't zoned for, retail or tours or anything like that. So we didn't want people to show up at our house. And it took us 10 years to get to opening our own home for Lawson's Finest in Waitsfield, Vermont, with the beautiful tap room and larger production brewery. And so the model that I built over the years was really all based on distribution. And so thankfully we were package heavy. So we had a lot of beer really well represented across the Northeast already, with our fan favorite Sip of Sunshine out there in so many different places. Those bright yellow cans, you can't miss them. And so thankfully that's helped us really make up for the loss. We're down, more than half at our own location at our Waitsfield tap room. But thankfully those retail sales, we're package heavy rather than draft heavy as a brewery. So we're hanging in there. We're surviving all right. We've been able to keep all of our staff on board by kind of repurposing. A few folks decided to leave, like retail to go wasn't really their thing, or just like they decided life is too short, maybe time to do something different. But we were able to keep all our full-time employees with us, and so I was really excited about that, even though the tap room's been closed all winter long.
And that seemed to be the norm with the breweries that were already having distributing beer. They weren't affected as much as the ones that were just dependent on taproom sales, right?
Yeah. So I'm really grateful for that. Thankful that we were, just by chance that was our business model, worked out well for the pandemic, or at least helped us to survive fully intact.
Well, I mean, also your beer is wonderful. It's great. I mean, you have a fan in California, obviously.
Thank you.
Everyone that I know, loves Lawson's.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention. I know you were going to send us out a little treat. They didn't get here in time.
Yeah, of course. UPS 2 day should have been there yesterday. Still not there today.
I want to hear I want to hear a little bit more about it. I'm sure everyone else would too.
Absolutely. Well, the reason I wanted to get you guys a taste of our newest release in our limited series, which goes out to all 9 states across the Northeast. So we're in all of New England, so Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, all of New York, Pennsylvania, and now New Jersey, my original home state. Jersey boy originally, and so we're really excited to have reached the Garden State. So we're in all those 9 states, and starting this coming week, our Scrag Mountain Pilsner and our specialty version made with salt and lime, the affectionately known here in Waitsfield as the Scraggerita. And Mark, one of our assistant manager and one of our beer tenders at the tap room, has an awesome recipe that he crafted up for us this afternoon. The real Scraggerita, the real deal, like a little tequila, a little simple syrup, a little fresh squeezed lime, and like 4 ounces of beer. Pour it up over some ice. Oh, heavenly. So the salt and lime version and the regular Pilsner, which I know you've tried, our Scrag Mountain Pilsner.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
It's that's a love-hate thing. Some people are like, no, don't add anything to my Pilsner, but it's so refreshing, and it gives a little bit of tartness. You get that little that little tongue prickle from the salt in the beer, and I'm really excited to share it with fans across the Northeast, and that's coming out in cans starting this coming week across the Northeast. So really excited. And for purists, you can find our Scrag Mountain Pilsner untouched right next to it. So those two are coming out together. And it's named for, if I could tell a little story, Scrag Mountain is you can see it from the brewery and from the tap room. It's right here in Waitsfield, Vermont. And it's where our water comes from. Beautiful, soft water profile from the Northfield Aquifer. So the town has a drilled well up on Scrag Mountain, and it's piped down to Waitsfield, and we use that for brewing that beer. So that's where the name and the inspiration came from. It's a nice, soft, low mineral water profile that's great to make beer with. And the Scrag Mountain is kind of stylistically inspired by the European Pilsner, like a Czech Pils, I would say would probably be the closest style to it. So I'm excited. So next time we'll try that one together, guys.
We will. Yeah.
I was very looking forward to try that. Yeah.
It'll be great today.
I know.
If it's 90, yeah, that's a beer you need on a 90-degree day.
Moment. Hold on. Take a picture of the moment.
Hold on.
There we go.
All right.
And if I could say a few more words about the little sip that people are trying,
please
it's
do.
like to get.
And then we're gonna take some questions from the forum.
Okay, great.
Right.
And thanks to all of our fans out there. Like I jumped into the Lawson's Finest room. There was a whole bunch of questions. So it took me an hour, but I got questions. I got replies posted. So if you posted a question there, you haven't checked it out, I got your answers there. I look forward to your questions too. And we've got some fun things going on with Little Sip. We've got a photo contest going on social media, Sip for Every Occasion. And we call it hashtag. And so folks can post their photos and tag Lawson's Finest and tag hashtag Sip for Every Occasion. And you could win some great Lawson's Finest swag. Really nice package that we'll put together. I'm not used to this left-right thing on StreamYard yet. It's opposite of Zoom.
Yeah,
so
I know it's kind of weird. Huh?
Yeah, thankfully I haven't had like 3 beers already, so I'll keep it straight. And so that's going to be running for the next 5 weeks. And we've called it Sip for Every Occasion because it's such a great occasion beer. Like whether you're going to the beach, whether you're going right after a bike ride, or you're going for a jog, or you're getting out to the mountains and going for a hike or a mountain bike ride, or maybe a long road cycle, or you're out on the golf course. Like all of our outdoor activities and on the go stuff that we love to do. It's a great beer for all those occasions.
Or hanging out online, right?
Or hanging out online
Exactly.
at a virtual beer festival.
I wish we could get this beer in California. I know it's hard, to distribute all the way to California.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm gonna keep trading for this beer.
Keep trading, keep asking, and we haven't done any special shipments to California yet, but you never know. We do make it out to Colorado for the Great American Beer Fest, and a few other shipments a year. So never say never.
Right.
Cool.
So right here we
Yeah.
got some questions ready from some of the people that bought tickets.
Excellent.
Here we go. Simple question. What was your pathway to brewing?
Like so many brewers, home brewing. Buddy of mine in college, Matt, invited me over to his house one day and said, "Hey, you want to try some of my homebrew?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." So he cracked open a beer and he poured it up for me, and I was like, tasted it. I was like, "Wow, this is better than anything you can buy in the store. You made this?" He's like, "Yeah, I made this." I'm like, "No way. Show me how. Will you show me how to homebrew?" And he was like, "Definitely." And so I ran out and bought a kit, and next thing you know, I'm cooking up a batch of beer in my apartment in downtown Burlington when I was a student at the University of Vermont. And from there, I fell in love with it, with making beer and like tinkering with it. And
what year was this? What year was
that? That was 1990. You're aging me here. And then it just kept homebrewing. I pursued a career outside of brewing and forestry and outdoor education. And then just eventually my skills kept getting better. I was getting more passionate about it. Friends and family encouraged me to think about starting a business. And I got a longer answer posted in the thread there. And I just decided to make that leap and give it a go. But it was low risk because I started as a hobby, like a 1-barrel brewery. See if it works, test the market. It's crazy to think 2008, there was only 1,500 breweries in the country.
We're at 8,000 and change right now?
Over
8,000.
Yeah, it's probably going to be closer to 9 beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, we were just walking down the road.
Oh, yeah. We saw the little brewery that we never even seen before.
A brewery sitting there, like right around the corner. We're like, what's this?
When did these guys show up? Yeah. All
right. Let's pull up another question.
Okay. Another question.
All right.
Let me see. So it says, how should the beer be tasted? From a can, in a specific type of glass, or, how should it be poured?
Oh, I think this is such a great question, Edgar, because it's really, to me, there's no right way about drinking a beer. It's all personal preference. So for me, my personal preference is, I just grab a can and go a lot of times. If I'm on the go, if I just got done with work, if I'm just like, I'm not going to slow down and go grab a glass, or just, if I'm on the move, I love a can of beer. It's like the perfect vessel for it. However, there's, certain beers and occasions for sure that lend themselves to the right glassware. And I think the tulip glass is a nice glass. And I like to, I like to pour it with I want to get a thick, frothy head on there, so when I go to sip the beer, so especially out of a bottle or a can, I like to pour it up, you got to have at least 2 fingers of foam on there. And that really, it releases all the volatiles from the beer. Right. And then when you sip on it, it's like, to me, for those first couple sips, it's critical to get some foam in your mouth with the beer. It's like, it's just part of the whole sensory experience.
That's why I noticed that when you pour, you're going like this, like about maybe 8 inches off of the
I'm not usually, only because the can was already open and there was some beer in here already. I was like, all right, I got to get this head rising up. But usually if you just pour it vigorously right into the glass, it'll give it that big, thick head of foam.
Wow.
So I like the tulip glasses for my IPAs and like a lot of, it's my go-to style of glass because it holds the aromas in nicely, but like a straight-sided stangy, I can't pronounce it right, is a great glass for a Pilsner.
Tomato.
I love that.
But that's a great answer, though. Just, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. However you like it, that's the right way.
Exactly. So now you're at home. Obviously, you have got time to put it in a glass and right, but you're kind of like not at home and you don't have a glass, and a can will be great.
Yeah, exactly. But at work when we're brewing up beers, always we have a couple of different tasting glasses. One of them, we use this style tulip. and then we use a narrower small glass where you can get your nose inside the glass when we're doing sensory analysis, and it's like small enough that it like almost fits up over your nose, and so you're really getting the aroma from the beer when we do sensory analysis, or we're testing out, a batch to see where it's at, how it's going, or just to approve it for packaging.
Nice.
Yeah.
We got another one. Yeah.
Another question. Let's see.
Oh, I've never had one of Lawson's finest yet, except for now. Yeah, there you go. What is the most beer you ever brewed, and is it for sale right now?
Mad and Crazy. I hope you're sipping on a little sip right now, and welcome to the party. So glad to get some Lawson's finest on your palate. Cheers. And I bet, Todd, you know the answer to this one. Can you guess? What's the most unique beer that Lawson's finest makes?
The most unique beer.
Well, I think that
I'll give you a hint. I replaced the water.
Oh, the maple. Yeah.
Yeah, the maple triple.
Yeah, that's right.
So I use concentrated maple sap. I just make one batch a year. And so instead of water, we use concentrated maple sap. It's about 14% sugar, 12 to 14% sugar or Play-Doh already. That's the water. And then I throw in a ton of grain, and it's a super high gravity maple specialty ale. And then I age it in maple liqueur barrels for a year and blend it up, and put it in a cork and cage bottle. And that one is that's the most unique beer that we make, most special. One I'm most proud of too, because we've won 3 times at the World Beer Cup with that beer. So that one
when does that come out usually? When it does?
Once it comes out of the barrel and we blend it, it comes in at about 12% ABV.
Oh, sorry, when does that usually get released?
Oh, it usually comes out in the summer or the fall. Okay. So I've got the sap. We've got the sap from the end of the sugaring season, just ended a few weeks ago, and so that's in the cooler right now. And so I'll brew that up next week or the week after.
And it's a trip because like Vermont also makes some of the best maple syrup, right? So
thank you.
Right?
Yes.
Canada and Vermont. I've never been to Vermont, but I
gotta have you up here, Edgar.
I know. I can't wait. But yeah, I know that Vermont makes. They have some of the best maple out there, so it just makes sense, right, to have the beer that you make with the maple sap, right?
It was what I was most proud about winning with that beer was that I got to put Vermont maple syrup on the beer world map. Mm-hmm. And Vermont's the leading producer of maple syrup in the United States, so it was pretty exciting for me. And it's a very Vermonty ingredient to use in beer. So another person asked a question about making an IPA with maple syrup. I dabbled home brewing, but we haven't done anything commercial like a maple IPA. So
I have to try.
So I was like, maybe we should get back to experimenting with that.
All right. I think we have time for one more. Sip Sunshine is one of my all-time favorites. Mine too. Any particular reason Little Sip was chosen for this tasting session?
Oh yes, because it's the newest. Well, left, right. There we go. Center. Yep. Because it's the newest release, and it's going to be a year-round beer that fans can get all across the Northeast. So with a wider audience spread out across a whole number of states, I wanted to share a beer that they'd be able to get hopefully in their backyard if they're here in the Northeast. And Little Sip IPA is that newest release. Just launched it in March to all 9 states in the Northeast, which and I'm just excited to share it with you. And thank you for putting me first in the lineup. That was nice with a 6% IPA and a lot of double IPAs in that box. It was a good place to be.
We're all in for it
in the lineup. And because I'm on the East Coast, I don't know if I could pull off this conversation at 10:30 tonight. So
ready for a lot of strong beers, but we got plenty of water, and we got hydrate, water, some food.
Yeah, I got my water right here. And speaking of which, releases, if I could get a quick plug in for the rest of our beer calendar for this year, because it will be available across all 9 states in the Northeast. And for the fans of the IPA, I mentioned the Pilsner, but then after that, second half of the year, it's all IPAs. And so we kick it off in July with Hops a Lot IPA, a musically infused, inspired beer brewed with 8 different hops from around the world. Hops a lot. Are you a fish fan? So there's a little connection there. Check out the artwork. And then that will be out in July. So that'll be hitting stores before the 4th of July. And then in the fall, September, we've got our Kiwi double IPA. Tip of the hat to Jack's Abbey, because they've got a Kiwi Rising. And when I first brewed Kiwi, I did a collaboration with those guys. You might remember, Todd, a smoked maple lager. And so I asked them, is it okay if I make a Kiwi beer? Because Kiwi is the nickname for New Zealanders. And of course, it uses a bunch of New Zealand hops in there and Australian Galaxy. So we call it the Kiwi Double IPA. That'll be out in September. And then finally, drum roll, please, to round out the year, never released for distribution before, Triple Sunshine is coming for the holidays.
Man.
Triple Sunshine. So that'll be out for Thanksgiving. And if it lasts long enough into December, you can grab some for Christmas too. So really excited to plug those beers.
In search of.
In search of capital ISO.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you need a reason to come visit Vermont, once this, as we hopefully get on the other side of this pandemic, come see our new tap room, or not so new anymore, but it's still kind of new because it was only open for a year and a half before we were closed last year. Yep. And you can even stay in our original house. We moved up the road, but we've got an Airbnb at the house my wife and I built, where the brewery still is. That's where we're still brewing beers up there. That's why I brew the Maple Triple every year. So you can house there and come visit us. But for you guys, you just let me know. I'll put you up there anytime. Be happy to host you. Yeah. So
make sure of that.
Put it on your calendar.
We got your digits, man. We're calling you.
So I'll get it from Todd.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sean, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Pleasure to be here.
Wonderful beer, like always.
Right on. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
I love Sean. I love his beers.
Ooh, it tastes just like the Sip of Sunshine, but just less alcohol. Just a tiny
little bit, yeah.
No, but it has all the flavor though,
because it's still 6%.
Exactly.
Yeah,
now it would have been like 5%, then you would have lost a lot of the flavor, man.
All right. So next up, we're gonna get the beer.
Oh shit! Let me go get the beer.
Breakside. Yep. Go get your Portland IPAs out, everyone. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Hey, how's it
How you
going,
doing, fellas?
Hey Ben, how you doing?
How's it
I'm
going?
good. Good to see you, Todd. Nice to meet you, Edgar. How you guys doing?
Nice to meet you, Ben, as well. Excited to try your beer.
Awesome.
I tried the original one, right? I think it was the Breakside one, the original.
Yeah. This is kind of a variant of our. Well, it started as a variant of our two flagship IPAs. Now it's kind of its own thing. But yeah, definitely, it's a child of Breakside IPA and Wanderlust.
Correct. So this is double dry hopped version, right?
It is, yeah. So this is it's double dry hopped, HDHC, whatever you want to call it these days.
Yeah.
With
DTH or whatever, right?
yeah,
We're gonna pour.
We're gonna pour it right now.
How you been?
great.
We haven't seen you since Extreme.
Yeah, what was that, Boston 2020, right?
Yeah, so another world, man.
I know. I miss you guys. I miss Beer Fest. I miss seeing you all, and yeah, I miss getting out. So it's awesome to see you guys here in cyberspace.
Yeah, we'll be back, and I hope you can join us. So
Yeah, well, that's what everyone's saying now, right? Is that moving forward, you're never going to say no to a beer fest now. I'm going to do every event, every fest. You know, after a year of being deprived of it, I'm ready to do 3x what I used to do.
nice. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait. So tell us, you got this beer in front of us now. Tell us a little something about it.
Yeah. So we call it at Portland IPA, and it is a collaboration beer, kind of a co-branded beer that we do with this merchandise and design company here in Portland. It's just if you see the P on the side, that's their logo.
Yep.
They're called Portland Gear, and they do a ton of merch that's just kind of all these iconic Portland landmarks and things like that. So yeah, we decided to do this beer with them, and it is a classic West Coast IPA. As Edgar pointed out, it started out in the first iteration. We didn't know how often we were going to make it. It started out as a double dry hop version of kind of Breakside IPA, our flagship IPA. And over time, it evolved into its own recipe and identity, still double dry hopped, still a lot of the same hops, but we increased the alcohol a little bit, we dropped the BUs a little bit, we lightened the body a little bit, and so yeah, now it's this very pale, all two-row IPA with Citra, Simcoe, and CTZ.
So you use 100% two-row on this?
Yeah, that's correct.
Wow.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Yeah, you know, I think for a long time,
wow,
we've gone this way of trying to find, like, how do you make IPAs, like, what sort of malt balance do you really need in an IPA, right? You know, we've been looking at that for a decade now. You know, I think 10 years ago when you had these hops that were a lot piney, a lot woodier as the kind of showcase hops in American IPA, you had to have higher TG, you had to have higher crystal malt sweetness to kind of support that, offset that.
Yeah.
And now I think, you know, we've spent a decade peeling away. So if you've ever had Wanderlust, which is our other flagship IPA, that's kind of, you know, that's only got a little bit of Munich, it has no crystal malt in it. Now we're at the point where it really is all kind of two-row, a little bit of simple sugar added in there. But, you know, I think it's proving that it's a myth that you have to have specialty malt in the IPA in order to get enough balance. So yeah, it makes it super easy for the brewers to mill in. All they do is hit a few buttons, and there's no bags to add in. This is great.
Because this is super balanced.
No, super balanced. It's not like overly bitter or overly malty. I mean, it's just like right there, man.
It's right
in the middle, man. It's perfect, man. Great
Thanks,
job,
y'all.
man.
Thank you so much.
How often does this one come out?
We're pretty much at capacity right now, so everything's kind of like shoehorned into the schedule. This beer we make about once a month, and usually do about 600 cases or so.
Okay.
So it's a single, right, or a double? A single?
It's a strong single. It's like 6.8%, 7%. I think the batch that you have right there is
between almost a double. Yeah. But it's a single.
Call it a 1.5 IPA.
Okay.
1.5. Man, see, now people are going to be like, oh, we should add 1.5 IPAs.
Well, it's almost sessionable. Well, you know, it's a little past the sessionable threshold, right?
People are going to start asking, can we have sort of an in-between IPA category.
Yeah, because some people are like, oh, we don't want no like.
I don't want sessionable. I don't want
sessionable because it's too light and shit.
Yeah,
you know? I don't want a double.
I don't want
something
regular
between.
either. I want something kind of just in between.
This is it right there, right?
Yeah, this is it.
The in between sessionable and a double, right?
1.5. I like it.
I joke that actually for the first like 6-8 years we were open, we only made strong pale ales. We never made IPA, even though we called beers IPA. And it's only in the last couple of years where we've pushed our IPAs to like up from 6.2, 6.3 to closer to 6.8, 7%. And that's like a regional thing. You know, you go down to San Diego and everyone has, it's like 7% is the basement, right? You know,
yeah, that's what I thought too, like 7%. Yeah.
But in Oregon, it's always, I mean, I shouldn't say always, but many IPAs in Oregon are like in that kind of 6.2 range, the way that Sean's beer was that he was talking about a minute ago, you know, it's like 6.2 to 6.5 is kind of this Oregon sweet spot. Maybe it's like, it's rainier and people want to be inside and have 3 pints instead of 2, but I think it's like some sort of regional difference. And Breakside IPA and Wanderlust are both around 6.3, 6.4. So it's kind of a journey for us to push these beers up to 6.8. But I actually think that helps balance it.
Yeah. So Ben, let me ask you a question, man. How long have you been brewing beer, man? How did you start?
I started as a home brewer.
Like everyone else, right?
Yeah, like many folks.
Yeah, like many of us. Yeah.
I was a home brewer for about 6 years, before a couple of friends and I thought we were going to open a brew pub in Portland, and I decided to go to brewing school before I'd ever worked in the beer industry. But I did go to brewing school. I got a job, went to Siebel, and got my brewing degree there.
Yeah.
I relied on a lot of fellow students in my class to help me out a lot because there was a lot I didn't know at the time. There's still a lot I don't know, but I really didn't know a lot then. And then I came back to Portland. The guys who I was going to open a brew pub with kind of bailed. They decided they didn't want to work together. And then I got a job as an assistant brewer and worked my way into a pub brewing job at Breakside when it opened. And I've been with Breakside now for the last 11 years since we opened. Nice. So, yeah.
Wow. Nice. That's a long time, though. 11 years? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, these days people tend to jump around a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So that tells me right there that the loyalty that you're right. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Loyal guy.
Yeah, loyal guy. Yeah. They must be treating him well.
They treat him well. Yeah. This is a great beer, man. Very good.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a fun project, and it's, you know, we already make so many IPAs, so it's fun to design a new beer in the last year or kind of tweak this one so that it's different than the other IPAs we make. You know what I mean?
Of course.
How many IPAs do you release in a given year?
Oh gosh, that's a great. I don't know that I've ever looked at that. Probably 40 to 50 different IPAs.
Okay.
You know, we probably do between our 3 locations. We have 3 breweries, so we make a lot of different beers. But yeah, we probably do 120 different beers, and I bet if 40 or different variations on IPA. Depends if you count, if you count triple IPA and session IPA and double IPA, then, I can fluff that number a little bit.
That's the market now, though, right? You have to just keep on releasing new beers. And it has to be a ton of just new releases all the time.
Totally. And I think that, I think that 10 years ago when we had 2 IPAs, people were like, you can't have 2 IPAs as flagship beers. Like, people are going to be confused. They want 1 IPA and from a brewery. And we just found out that just wasn't really accurate. When we started, we were like, well, we'll release 2 and we'll see what happens. And those both are 2 best-selling beers, and it wasn't like people got confused. They wanted more. And so we had a new one as a seasonal, and it keeps going. And I think it's because you have educated consumers. I'm sure a ton of the folks who are participating in this fest know so much about hops and know so much about IPA, and are excited to taste different takes on the style, and different approaches to hops and different strengths of them. So, yeah.
That's a good segue, actually. You want to take a couple questions from the forum?
Let's do it.
All right.
Portland is such a mecca. What have you done along the way that has helped you stand out from the pack?
That's a great question. I don't know that there was any magic formula. I think we started as a little brew pub in Northeast Portland, and making a lot of different styles of beer. I would guess, I actually do think that maybe one thing we got lucky with was that we early on cast a pretty wide net. Like, a lot of breweries in town had like 5 or 6 beers on tap and didn't rotate as much. And we were maybe a little bit ahead of the curve on anticipating that consumers wanted more rotation. So we were releasing like a new beer a week, a new release every other week kind of thing. And that was pretty uncommon at the time. I took a lot of flack for it back in 2011, 2012 from other brewers. And, but that was just kind of our shtick early on. And then we just kept doing it. And I think that made us better brewers, you know, having to be creative and exercise those juices. And fortunately, I don't think we created that trend by any means, but I think that that's where the market ended up going. So I think that helped us. But overall, yeah, I think it was just a lot of like quality beer and feet on the ground and trying to get beer in front of people.
Nice.
That's nice.
I think we got some more.
Right. Let's see. So how large of a brewery are you all? It says, how large of a brewery are you all?
It's from Texas.
From Texas.
Yeah. I'll say that in my head in a Texas accent, right? Then I can answer.
I wanted to say the Texas accent, you know, but I just couldn't.
You can't.
Yeah.
Nice try.
I'm sorry.
We make about 30,000 barrels of beer, so we're relatively, I guess, you know, a regional brewery, mid-sized brewery. We're mainly distributed in Oregon and Washington. That's probably about where we sell 75% of our beer. And then we also send a small amount of beer to Northern California. I don't think you guys get it down in LA at all. I think that we pretty much hit Fresno, and that's about as far south as we go.
Well, you need to get in the LA too, LA scene, man. Come on, man. We're growing up over there in LA, man.
I love LA. Everyone gives LA such a hard time. I love LA. Todd can speak to that. Like, we hung out at the Pils Fest a couple of years ago. And yeah, I would love to sell beer in LA and travel down there more often.
We'll bring an event back to LA eventually.
Yes. Sweet. Working on it.
We also sell beer in Montana, Colorado, a little bit in Idaho. Props to Idaho. There aren't that many people there, but they drink a lot of beer. Same with Montana. It's great. And yeah, we occasionally send beer out to Massachusetts and the Carolinas as well, but not very much. So it's just small amounts, but really fundamentally in the Northwest.
That's right. Okay.
All right. Let's pull up another one.
Next question.
Yeah. Tell us about the time where either you made a beer based on someone's idea and you thought it would be awful, but it turned out great, or it should have been a great, but the flavor profile was surprisingly uneventful. That's it.
That's a great question.
Yeah. And does that happen a lot? People, no?
Well, I mean, it all depends on who. Right? Let's ask him. Let's ask Ben.
It's a good question.
Right? No, it is big time.
Oh man, that is a really hard question to think about, like on the fly, like on the spot. I'll tell. So this was, I think it was based on someone else's idea, but I'll tell a story about a beer that I had the idea for that turned out to not be as good as it should have been, and that was a little bit of a disaster. Was I don't know if you guys remember this, but maybe like in 2010, 2011, somewhere in there was a very brief, like a bacon beer phase.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
So I got a call from this writer, Lucy Birmingham, who is a great writer, covers beer, and she asked me about meat beer. And I was like, oh, Lucy, I don't want to give you a quote about meat beer. And she starts, you know, as any good journalist does, she starts asking me a handful of questions. And before I know it, I'm in this thing that's like, well, if I were going to make a meat beer, here's how I would do it. And I started explaining it. And I was like, by the end of it, I was like, oh, shoot. Like, now I actually have to go, and now that I've said all that, I have to go and do this beer. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make a beer out of duck carcasses.
Wow.
And so
where'd you at how'd you at the duck during mashing or during fermentation? I mean, that's wow.
Yeah. So my assistant brewer and I at the time, we're just the brew pub at the time, called up the local game meats processor who supplies a bunch of the restaurants in town and said, hey, do you guys have any like duck carcasses left over? And they're like, yeah. I was like, could we buy 100 pounds of duck carcasses? This is for a 3-barrel batch of beer. And then I called up some friends over at a wood fire Italian spot, and I was like, who, you know, did lunch service but had the fire going and didn't have an afternoon service. And I I was like, could we roast these duck carcasses, develop some flavor in them at your spot? So we did it. We went over, wood-fired all these duck carcasses, and then took them back to the brewery and decided to turn the wort into a stock. So what we did was we simmered it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we mashed in a porter, like a kind of, English porter, London type porter base, ran it off over to the kettle. And before adding any hops or doing a long boil, we just set the kettle to I think it was probably like 204 or something like that, and bagged up 100 pounds of duck carcasses, roasted duck carcasses at this point, and hung them in the kettle and let it steep and simmer for 3 days. And like all the way over the weekend. This is like, instead of kettle souring, we were kettle ducking. We were kettle stocking. And we came in on Monday, and the brewery smelled awesome. It smelled like the best au jus you've ever experienced. It was totally
Yeah.
We should have stopped there. I should have just cooled that through the heat exchanger, didn't boil it, bottled it off and sold it. Like that would have been it. And so, but you tasted it tasted like duck stock. It was so amazing. So then we boiled it, added a very small amount of hops, cooled it, sent it to the fermenter, and pitched yeast and fermented it out. And I kid you guys not, 8 days later, it fermented out like a normal porter, and all the duck flavor was gone.
That's crazy.
We had done all this work, and the beer tasted zero like duck.
Yeast ate everything up. Huh?
I have no idea to this day. I mean, I've asked some people who are more knowledgeable on this, but I think that maybe some of those flavor active compounds that we think of as meat flavors, umami flavors, are probably amino acids that yeast just took up. Yeah, Edgar, I think you're right. The yeast just ate it and converted it into something that tasted a lot more like beer.
So you kind of did almost like a historical beer. Those old school. I think it's like one of Jim Cook's stories, the old school cock ale that he did. People in the past too. It's kind of, it's basically that, right? You roast them and then
yeah.
That's crazy.
Well,
that was a great story.
Yeah. Meat on a beer is kind of weird.
Meat beer is a big thing right now.
Yeah,
especially on Twitter.
But they're vegan.
Yeah.
So why can't a meat? I'm not a vegan,
but meat beer is in the news right now.
I respect, vegans and everything, but dude, can I get a meat beer? But it doesn't taste the same as a vegan beer, right?
We've had smoked pig skull beers that are at Extreme Beer Fest. We have bacon beers. We've had
goat head.
We've had goat head. Yeah, goat head beers. Even more commercial ones, widely available. You had Dogfish Heads, their Scrapple beer. Yeah. We had Wind Coop, the Rocky Mountain oysters.
I tried one of them when I was in Colorado. But you know what? I think
you drank that.
Yes, I did. I
had that beer. Yeah, that beer is.
I lived across the street, literally right across the street. I refused.
I tried it during the Beer Fest
to go back
when I was there, man. And it wasn't that bad though. But you know what? I think meat just does not belong in beer. I'm sorry.
If EBF 22 happens, I'll commit now. I'll rebrew that beer or some form of it and bring it out for 2022.
All right,
you're on the hook for that.
It's being recorded, so you're recording.
It's
right
recorded,
now.
But also, Brittany behind the scenes just said, making a note, sending the contract. So you're
fantastic.
Done.
That's right.
You got the invite.
So we have another.
I think we have time for another
question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's do this. Okay. So we got another question. If maple is a very Vermont ingredient, what will be your very important ingredient?
Obviously, duck carcasses.
Duck.
Well, it has to be legal, right?
I always take for granted that we live so close to the hop fields, right? Breakside, the brewery I'm sitting in right now, I'm 20 minutes from Crosby, not from Crosby Hop Farms, but from the other hop farms here in Oregon, right? From B&C Farms is 20 minutes away. I have a hard time for beer. I know there's a lame answer, but there's a reason that the Northwest is hop central. It's literally where the hops are grown. So, yeah. that's what I got.
It's true. Hops. Yeah. Of course.
Maybe one more.
Yeah,
one more.
Of course, man.
Yeah, we get.
I gave a quick answer there. So yeah, we can do one more.
Yeah, we get that.
All right.
What new hop varieties are you looking forward to using? There you go.
Okay.
There's so many good ones right now.
Yeah. All right. So here's my like kind of hot list right now. Like, of course, Strata. Everyone's talking about Strata. We think it's a fantastic hop. And we're starting to use it a lot, both in hazy IPAs and in West Coast IPAs. We're pretty excited about Cashmere as a public varietal, one that I think is now that's being grown more widely. We're starting to see what people can do with it, what farmers can do with it. And, I think a few years ago, a lot of the Cashmere guy had this kind of pencil shaving, coconut cedar thing, pretty woody. But now I think when it's used right, you're getting stuff that has a lot more tropical fruit character and could be a really exciting thing for growers because it's a public varietal. It's not, it's more accessible, and for brewers can be a more affordable hop as well. Same thing with Triumph. That hop, we just did a collaboration with Cigar City called Ideal Humidity. That's a double IPA aged on cedar, kind of a tip of the hat to their old Humidor series of IPAs. And that has some Triumph in it, and I swear it gives this awesome kind of like pink Starburst bubblegum note. It's not like Hefeweizen bubblegum, but kind of like juicy fruit bubblegum. So those are a few. And then one other that I'll give a plug for is this hop that Andy Roy up at Roy Farms, I'm wearing his sweatshirt here, I think, has been growing, that I think has some real potential in the next few years. It's a terrible name right now since it's just a number, but it's called 1624. So keep an eye out for that one. That's like the future mosaic.
Shout out to Roy Farms.
Yeah, you got to name that hop.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Well, thanks so much, fellas. It's been a pleasure chatting.
Thank you, Ben, for joining us. It's really good to see you again. It's been too long, and hopefully we can do this in person sooner than later. Thanks.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Cheers,
Great
guys.
beer, man. I'm telling you,
Cheers.
man.
Be good.
Bomb. Cheers.
Love Breakside. Went up there years ago when they had the Craft Brewers Conference. Yeah, so good.
No, I tried their original one, and this one it's double dry hop.
Yep.
And it's so fucking balanced though. Like some of
is
that West
super
Coast,
balanced.
it's like sometimes it's just overly bitter or
literally
overly, like it's not balanced right, And this one is just right, man.
It literally is a 1.5. I'm gonna start using that. That's it.
That's a great term. 1.5. Right?
Yeah, it's great.
I'm a 1.5%er, dog.
Well, the next one is more. It's a 2.
So it's gonna get bigger. It's gonna get bigger now, right?
Against the grain.
Woo!
Citra ass down. Yep.
Let me get.
By the way, these guys. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a couple minutes. But let's go get that beer now. You guys go get your Citra ass down, and then sit your ass down.
Exactly.
All right.
Cheers. Cheers, motherfucker. What's
going
happening?
on?
What's up?
I'm gonna take these off because they're getting kind of foggy.
Come on. You look fucking cool as fuck, bro.
Well, thanks. I was trying. It's really dark in here. I apologize.
It is.
I'm trying. The light situation's not great.
Everyone just stop. I just gotta say, the video. That was pure magic. I'm serious.
I haven't seen it, dog. I need to see it, dog.
I know. Come on. That video is incredible. If you guys haven't watched the video yet, hop into the Fest forum, watch the video. You guys killed it. And I don't know if you saw, but I put a note. It was the first reply. It said you guys basically get an automatic invite to the next in-person event just because of the video. Forget the beers, just because of the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
The amount of effort, the cinematography, the script, I mean, everything. This is amazing.
Dude.
The costume,
I can't wait to
designed the
I can't wait to
costume.
see it.
Yeah, we just
We got a good crew at Against the Grain, and really it took everybody working together, everybody firing on all cylinders to make it work. So it was a good time. We like to pass the time. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I said,
Don't get a trip, dog. You look good to me, homie.
all right, cool. Sounds good then.
here we go. We're opening it.
There you go. Sit your ass down.
Mine's a draft pour because I'm broadcasting from an undisclosed location. But yeah, really, I'm in the attic of our sake brewery. So we have, for anybody not from Louisville or who's never been here, Derby's tomorrow. And for some reason, that's a big deal for people. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll broadcast out of our little brewery downstairs. And it's so loud downstairs. I was trying to listen earlier. I was like, this is going to be rough. I'm going to have to go find somewhere. So we have a second floor. And then above the second floor is literally the door is hidden in the wall. And one of our owners, I'm in his office. So sitting up here in the dark, drinking some Citra ass down.
Cheers.
Ooh. Cheers, brother.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So I know this beer's been out for a while. Exactly how long?
Ooh, so this is not all the way back to the beginning, but really, really, really close. So when Against the Grain opened, the whole idea was kind of like, we're never going to brew the same beer twice. We were a little pub located downtown, so we got to brew anything we wanted and just when it blew, move on to the next. And then we brewed Citra ass down, and people seemed to like it, so we brewed it again. And it's kind of been that way. We had for a long time. It used to go seasonal again. For 6 months of the year, we'd have Citra, and then for 6 months a year, we'd have Rico Sauvin. And then I guess people like that Nelson Sauvin hop. I've heard. So it got kind of hard to find for a while, but we got locked in with Citra and have really got to dial it in. It's changed a little bit over the years, but just kind of basically the more we got access to better ingredients, the better the beer got.
Well, yeah, every crop is different, even though Citra, like every year, changes different flavor or whatever, but it's very good, man. Real good.
I know it's a core offering, but how much of your volume is it?
Ooh, I'd say it's probably close to 60% of everything coming out of production. It's a lot. It's it's kind of a bittersweet because our head brewer is supposed to be he should be here shortly, but it's always one of those things where it's like, man, we're brewing Citra again, but it is always fresh. Like it's at least if it's coming out of us or like when it leaves us, it's usually not sitting in our cooler for more than like, I don't know, 2 weeks at absolute most. That was like over the shutdown and stuff. So yeah, it's a bittersweet. It'd be nice to brew something else occasionally, but we're always getting fresh beer, so that's good too.
And the electric's on, so that's 60%.
See that's huge.
That's crazy.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's
Don't quote me on that. I'm sure our Shaggy, our sales guy, is gonna come out and be like, "It's not near that." And I'm like, "Oh, so yeah." Take up real numbers with the numbers guys.
Yeah. Have you done any variations of this before? I can't recall.
We actually just this year have released a double dry hop Citra. So it's the first time we've done that. It was a very limited offering. A little bit got out of the state here and there. And it was It honestly, it turned out great. We were super excited about it. So same base beer, but we did obviously 2 dry hops on it. We changed the second day dry hop. We kept, or rather the second edition of dry hop is like how we always dry hop it. But the first, we changed it up a little bit and paired it with some different stuff because we wanted it to be different. We didn't want it to just be like, hey, Citra, and also here's some more of it. So of course, if my other guy was here, he'd remember exactly.
That's all good. I'm sure, Doug.
But yeah, so we switched it up.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Only 2,300 people are watching. Relax. Don't worry.
But yeah. So, but yeah, it turned out really well. Again, I'm terrible and don't know exactly where that's offered. I know it's here in Kentucky. I know it's in Indiana. And it's in a handful of other states. Somebody's supposed to be picking up the last of it. There's a few cases sitting wrapped on an order right now. So keep an eye out for it. It's great. We wanted to send it to this, but we didn't make enough of it. So maybe next year.
I'll take Citra any day.
Any day. I mean, Citra is one of the my favorite hops, man. For real, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last time I had a can of this was probably at Star Bar when I lived in Denver.
Okay.
So years ago they had it there for a while. But yeah, I love it. It's good to revisit some of these beers. I think we had a couple grumblings like, I can't against the grain, bring something special. It's like, it's a valid question. I get it, right? Especially for like something special like this. But sometimes you need to revisit,
every batch is not going to be tasting the same, man. That's what
tell people that. All of our batches taste identical, every single one.
Yeah. Trust. I believe that.
So you're on the spot now because you're on your own. So I'm going to ask you some really hard questions now.
I'm ready.
Big time.
I'm just joking. Were you at any of our festivals?
I was at EBF. I guess that would be 2018.
Okay.
We did the ATG Express to Go.
Yeah, and I just wanted to point. I mean, you guys had some of the crazy. The last booth you had was the Extreme Beer Fest. This last one, 2020 in Boston. You guys just had like the shower curtains up and saying couldn't do anything else. Like seltzer basically killed.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Oh, well, I'm enjoying. And out of the shadows.
You guys
drum roll.
Bring me a beer? Yeah. I got mine.
Beer is cool.
What's up?
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
You just made it for Q&A.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just
This
talking
is Tyler. He goes by T-Mart.
Hey, guys.
Hey, brother.
We're just talking about past booths at our beer festivals. I remember you had a time machine.
Oh, yeah, I was part of that. I was one of the professors back there.
That was awesome. You had the pie in your face one. That was another good one.
Yep.
One of my favorites was this is just when like the hazies were coming on the scene and people were being really critical, but you had make your own hazy IPA. So you'd had your base, it might have been Citra. I don't know. We had your base like IPA, then you had like just like yeast slurry. Oh yeah, and they had
oat flour, almond flour,
everything, almond flour, and people were coming around like making them. And
Making
you're like,
their own IPA.
Yeah, but the hilarious thing was you were like, oh yeah, this is like a hazy IPA.
Flour.
The year that we did the ATG Express to Go, I was one of the two people taking orders. People were like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Oh, we're making every beer to order." And I'd say maybe 3% of people were like, "That's incredible! How are you doing that?" I was like, "Oh, I can't tell you. It's kind of proprietary, but yeah, the freshest you'll get is right here."
I just want to let you know, every year you guys come to our festivals, you'd have really serious beer geeks get all upset. They're like, "Why do you keep on inviting them? They're not taking this seriously." I'm like, "Oh, come on, it's a beer fest.
Relax, fucking geek. You know what I mean? For real, man."
And then you guys released this video. I think it's all the booths. Yeah, all of them.
Dude, I gotta see the. I don't even haven't seen.
You haven't seen the
I have not.
Have you seen it?
Right now.
During the intermission.
Yes, I need to see it.
You could have one less cigarette, and we're gonna.
Okay.
I'm busting his ass about cigarettes.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay,
And
relax.
we'll watch their video. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need
I want to know what you think, because it was like I said, we had to rush the script a little bit, so it's not quite where we wanted it, but you know, it's necessity, the mother of invention. So we made do.
If Todd tells me this shit is fucking dope, I already know it's gonna be dope.
It is. So Britt said it was
beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, man. So we got some questions, right?
From the forum.
Man. So you guys are ready? All right.
Oh, take a stance. West
man.
Coast IPA versus East Coast IPA. Should we make beer clear again? I know my answer, but this is your question.
Yes,
so.
yes.
I'm gonna let you go first.
Personally, I want to see beer get clear again. I miss the days when everybody competed against like who could burn your tongue the most. I miss those days, 1,000 IBU days,
Me
So
too.
I'd like to personally get back to clear beer.
I think shout out to Jack Savvy. Jack Savvy's getting a lot of shout outs. I saw Lawson shout him out.
Yep.
We made a beer with him a few years ago called Any IPA, not Any as in Northeast, but ANY. And the goal of that was to try to make a completely clear IPA. We got really close. We did one at their place, and then they came to us and we did one at our place. And man, that was like a super limited running of that. If anybody got into that, it was wild. It was like kind of fucked with your head. When we finally got it, we couldn't get it quite clear, but it was like just the slightest tint of green. And just like, yeah, it was nuts. It was a lot of fun. So
what grain did you use?
Let's see. So basically we used just straight 2-row in the smallest amount that we possibly could. So legally in Kentucky, we can make like we didn't have to use grain. We could have just done dextrose and made it seltzer, but we were like, no.
Yes.
So we like just the slightest amount of 2-row to kind of actually get to 51% of fermentables being actually from grain. Or maybe was that a Jag?
And the rest was sugar.
Okay. I can't remember. We used rice somewhere. I don't remember which one, but yeah. So it's basically like a little bit of 2-row, and then we used brewer's crystals to get us the rest of the way there, and then it was all Whirlpool, and then just dry hops, and yeah.
So the answer is clear.
I mean, the official answer, yes, is clear. I'm gonna be honest. I have just started to come around to some hazy stuff, and by that I mean like I don't hate them as much as I used to. I'm not quite to the point.
Same.
All the old school brewers, man, it's the same thing. Like, obviously the clearer the better back in the days, but then the hazy start coming out.
I feel sad for it almost. We got like traditional, brewers who are like, I'm only gonna brew like, German beers for my entire life, and hazy IPAs. They got like, you see the Instagram, they got like whipped cream strawberries falling and splashing on the Instagram.
But if we were all in this business to brew the beer that we want, we wouldn't be in business.
That's right.
Yep.
So we're gonna be brew whatever the fuck the customer wants.
There's a lot of delicious hazies.
Correct.
We're trying about 6 of them tomorrow. So
yes.
Tomorrow.
When I started at Against the Grain, we have a centrifuge. It's the first centrifuge I ever got to work on, and I was so excited. I was like, my beer's gonna be so bright. I'm so stoked. And then I was like, you got bright beer, neat. Who cares? Like, fuck, really?
Yeah. But I mean, if you had it like years ago, then it would have been cool, right? But now, like,
Right.
Oh, I think we're running out of time. We got time for maybe one more little tiny question.
Okay, one more question. Let's do this.
Oh, can you explain the can
art? Okay,
that's a really good question.
Yeah.
You're good on that.
Yeah. So,
I'm sorry.
Our can art on all of our cores, on I'd say about 95% of all the beers we do. His name is Robbie Davis. He's a Louisville native, and he was discovered by one of our owners. So we have an art fair every year, and when that art fair happens, they also have an unfair that this bar puts on, where it's kind of like just all artists and kind of, you know, people doing their own thing. And he had some stuff up there. One of our owners went through, this is before Against the Grain was even opened, found Robbie's stuff and was like, we got to get this guy. We got to get him. So just really, really unique stuff. And he's really good at, like, I've been in some of the meetings where it's like, okay, so we need like, you know, our hop character riding an ostrich and this, and he's like, all right. And it's kind of, it sounds like a mess. And then you start getting proofs and stuff back and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like this. All right. He's getting it. So it's, yeah. Yeah. Robbie's awesome. And he's really become synonymous with like against the grain stuff. With that being said, anybody familiar with our brown note can?
Yes.
Everybody that loves the art, there's an equal amount that hate the art. And I've had people walk up to me at Beer Fest and be like, I'll never
Fuck the haters.
Yeah, it's like, I'll never drink that. Got a guy with shitty pants on. It's like, hey man, then don't buy it. It's fine. Nurses love it.
I remember taking that can once into the men's room and taking a picture.
Yeah.
On Instagram, and the amount of people like, gross, how could you do that? But
we
whatever. It's cool art.
If you dig deep enough in our Instagram somewhere, I took one off the line on a canning day and shotgunned it, but I poked the hole like in the ass of the underpants and shotgunned it through. Yeah, so
I would love to shotgun with this guy, man.
Yeah,
he just said shotgun.
We'll do it one day. So
yeah,
what I said, you guys get an invite to our next in-person event automatically for the video.
Hell yeah.
We have to say goodbye right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Thanks guys. Appreciate it. Everybody go watch the video.
No, thank you. Thank you guys, man, for real, man.
And
thanks,
keep on
guys.
Against the grain. We
Yeah,
we appreciate you. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Yeah. Love those guys.
Those guys were fucking awesome.
Love them.
Bro.
You got to watch their video.
Dude, I just saw them. I could just kick it with them, dog, and talk about beer and bullshit. And
I love that. I love all those guys.
Yeah, they're from Kentucky.
They always bring it to our festivals.
No.
Yeah.
They're fucking cool as fuck, man. I like, for real, man. Like, those guys, I felt that shit right here, dog. Oh, in the motherfucking chest. Well, you know, in the chest.
Not in the heart, but in the chest. I got you.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So this is a good beer, though. Citra.
It is.
Citra and town, motherfucker.
I think we're gonna bring on a special guest right now.
All right. Yeah. Tim.
Hello, Tim.
Gentlemen, hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks.
I just wanted to. We just want to say thank you very much for being our partner, but also the beers. Everyone, I just saw the people going like, I got my beers. It's still cold.
Look, I've received hundreds of packages of beer before, man, but I have never received a beer so cold.
Yeah.
Like literally, like it was cold and it was sweating of cold. You know, like it was crazy, man. Like
it was cold.
Well, did you guys just drive this from fucking New York, like, or flew? I mean, it was crazy, man.
It was cold.
Wonderful job.
Yeah.
No, thank you as well. I mean, if it was cold and sweaty, I was just sweaty. It was tonight. Now I know what it feels like when like Santa's done, making his deliveries and can just kick back a little bit, before sunrise on Christmas morning. So it was a challenge, but we're thrilled to be working with you guys. And
you guys,
everyone is
that was a great job, man.
Yeah.
Great job.
No.
Great job.
Thank you very much.
No,
have you been? Have you had the three right now that we just had?
I can't play favorites, so I cuvate all 12 together.
All right. That's great. That's great, man.
Good. I like that.
That's
You don't want to be a favorite.
Yeah. I didn't do that, but yes, I am participating in the play along game here at home. So absolutely.
I got one. I actually want one question for you.
Yeah.
So when someone like us comes to you, we're like, hey, we want to do this thing. We want to ship to all these states. What is the biggest challenge?
I mean, I think the biggest challenge is just, logistically, we're talking about, so many of the, the best breweries in the country. And at the same time, a lot of them have not necessarily been able to be in New York State. They haven't distributed into New York, and, we're able to work to make that happen. And so it's, it's logistics. I mean, it really is. We're pushing out thousands of packages at the end of it. But, on the intake, we're bringing in, different breweries from all around the country, and it's timing. And when you're dealing with IPA Fest and keeping beers as fresh as possible. It's just, it's a challenge, but a good one that we, really embrace and look forward to tackling, to make sure everything gets in and also out the door and into, customers' hands so they could have it ready to go. And it's, it has been out there forever. So that's, that's the biggest part.
Yeah. Well, you guys get that part down.
That was that. I mean, that was a huge 2,000 people, whatever, whatever, over 2,000 people, and to make sure that everyone gets it on time and make sure it's like cold. Yeah, that's huge, man.
And we're going to be doing it again too. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, that's
we're
another
be
story.
Doing it again. Yeah.
Correct.
But and I hope I have a feeling I can't say anything 100%, but even though there's a lot of talk about going back to normal and in person and all that sort, I think we could probably do some sort of hybrid thing still. So,
okay. But I just want to give a special shout out to Tim and Halftime.
The entire
crew, the team, for all the hard work they have done. Yeah. And cheers.
I see it on the other side too with a lot of emails. These guys go above and beyond to make sure.
No, I know. Trust me. I was
even issues that are not even in their out of their hands. They make it right. Yeah. So thank you to you and the entire
guys
crew.
so much.
Hey, and it's it's to our entire team. We've got a great group of folks here who are all it's not just what we do, but we're also passionate about beer as well. So we're you guys, but we're also everyone who's participating as well. We're kicking back.
You guys just beer geeks like all of us.
Exactly.
So, we want
beer geeks first, and then business later. Right.
There you go. I like that. Yeah,
it's all good.
Thank you, Tim.
Cheers to
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
Be well.
Yeah, those dudes are fucking killed it, man.
So I did say something. We got this thing coming up. Maybe Britt can put it up on the screen.
Are you gonna say it right now?
We have to.
Okay. Well, fucking go ahead. All right.
But first, before all that, you should buy some merch.
Hey, support the fucking cause, dog.
Support it.
Yeah, I mean, motherfuckers work very hard for this.
Go to the Fest Forum right there, 10% off.
10% off, man.
Yeah.
Tell them,
you get this really cool
look, check this out, dog.
Muscle tee.
Homie, look. I know I gotta get a little bit more, but
look, and you get this beautiful glass here. There you go. Go get them while you can.
Voila.
Go get them while you can. All right, now
even when it's hot. Spend that unemployment check, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now we can talk about what we're going to talk about.
All right.
Maybe
get serious. Serious time. Serious.
Brittany, please. There we go.
Ooh!
It's a little tease. So this one's close to my heart.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm a lager.
I know. Look, I know you're a lager.
And I've been wanting to do a lager fest
for a long time, man.
So we're doing
August 21st, August 20 and 21st. Dude, that's like my birthday week, bro.
So this right here, this is what we're looking at here. This is a little tease of artwork from, again, Michael Hacker.
That's a dope look. That's some dope art,
he's
man.
From Austria, and he does a lot of our festival stuff. He also did labels for like Dogfish Head, but you should check him out.
I might get him for one of my labels. Man.
No, it's just for us.
Just for us. For real? You player hating?
We'll talk.
Okay.
You gotta watch the video first.
All right.
So Lagerfest is coming, end of August, and I'm gonna post something soon because we might have one slot open. We're gonna get some people, maybe give us some suggestions.
Mm-hmm. But I'll get a brewery, right.
But I'll be posting a little bit more, and then we'll be hopefully announcing ticket sales soon.
Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. Lagerfest coming soon, August 21st.
Finally.
Dude, that's gonna be fucking dope, man. For real, man. And in the middle of summer too.
Oh, by the way, you're invited.
You're inviting me officially right now?
Right now, you're invited.
I love you, motherfucker.
All right.
I mean, I'm gonna try my best to make the best lager or privilege.
We should co-host it right here again too.
Here, yeah, I'm down, or my garage, where I don't care.
We'll do it. Just do it. Done. All right. A little intermission pee break. 10 minutes. We'll be back in 10.
Cheers.
We've been a father and son family-owned business for nearly 20 years. When guests walk into Halftime Beverage for the first time and see only beer and cider, they're in heaven. We were early adapters in pioneering a place specifically for people who loved craft beer and cider. Shelves lined with 4,000 to 5,000 choices, hundreds of styles, some 800 breweries from 80 countries. Craft enthusiasts appreciate intelligent dialogue with our cicerones. Our passion for the industry is front and centered. We keep abreast of the industry's growth, especially the local breweries in our own neighborhood. Our online website takes orders from over 38 states. We introduce new products to the marketplace with regular tastings, dinners, and festivals. At Halftime Beverage, our entire focus is on beer and cider.
as shit, dog.
Shit, man, we're live. Wait, hold
Oh.
Nice.
Sorry, man.
Hi, hey, Jessie, hey, what's up, man? How you
Pass that
doing?
over here. What's up?
All right. Oh shit.
What's up, guys?
That was not planned though.
Yeah. Oh shit. No, you didn't see that.
I wish I was in on that.
Jesse, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good, guys. How about y'all?
We're good right here, just relaxing, man, on a nice, beautiful California sunshine.
West
So
Coast.
West Coast. You know, you're used to. Well, technically they're not in West Coast. They're Texas, so that's
South.
South,
West.
Yeah. South.
But we're drinking there.
Dude, I love your fucking hair, bro. That shit looks fucking.
We're
You know what I
drinking
mean? Like,
their
for
West
real.
Coast IPA.
Hey, you're almost there, man. Yes, sir. That's what we're drinking tonight.
We got the West Coast IPA, weathered soul, man. Cheers.
Cheers.
Classic, bro.
Yeah.
Classic.
It really is.
Just
So yeah, I mean, I'll be straight up. I invited you guys because a lot of obviously mentions for the last year with the Black's Beautiful and
yeah, man.
and
the
that
Black
beer.
is Beautiful was like for real, man.
but I wanted to reach out for IPA to also you guys brew other beers too.
Yeah, exactly. Not only stouts, right? But
Yeah,
IPA.
but I wanted to check it out.
Yes, and
And here we are.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Oh yeah,
I'm impressed. You know, because like obviously, you know, they make bomb fucking stouts and everything, man. But I'm impressed.
so the description here says it's like your de facto flagship.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of funny having this whole dichotomy of, you know, being really well known for our stout game and the actual, you know, craft beer community, because, you know, there's different, you know, echelons of beer drinkers, especially out here in Texas, where, you know, it's not the culture hasn't been as developed as it is, you know, let's say over there on the West Coast. And so, you know, you've got people that are like really into it and they really carry this industry to where it is, especially here in San Antonio. But you've also just got the regular craft beer drinker that walks into a bar and just wants a good IPA or a blonde or something to go with their pizza or burger. And so, you know, in the craft beer drinking like heavy community, we're really well known for our stouts and our hazy IPAs and stuff like that. But I mean, in San Antonio here, the West Coast has really carried our name. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I think the West Coast IPA has carried our brand locally here. I mean, just not to brag, but just in terms of numbers, we're outselling all of their IPAs right now 3-1. And there's some other breweries doing some killer IPAs, but what Marcus has done with this beer, I mean, it's like you said. I think it's funny that you just said your only comment was classic. Right, I mean, because that's really the way you can describe it like this.
I mean, like I said, I've been drinking craft beer, West Coast IPAs for a while, and this is fucking classic, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're not having to search for stuff. I mean, you got some classic hops in there. We're not doing anything crazy, and you're not hunting for things. You're not hunting like, oh, what's that hop doing? It's like, no, you're drinking. I mean, right at 7%. Really well balanced IBUs.
Right here. The West Coast IPA is exactly what I want, man.
Yeah. Especially in Texas, because we have an interesting tradition of, you know, I heard y'all's question earlier about, you know, East Coast versus West Coast. For me, a lot of times the question is, you know, no crystal malt or crystal malt. And that's like, especially with the West Coast IPA, I mean, you got some beers out there, and I think they had their heyday, especially in, you know, early 2000s. But I think the crystal malt is becoming a thing of the past, because you brew a beer that's just bright and clean, and you don't let that, you use the malt to your advantage to showcase the hops. You don't try to just cloud it and overshadow that hop character with just some sweet, just to give it some sweetness. I mean, you're already going to be getting that. And so I think that's one of the unique things that Marcus really started, you know, implementing here in San Antonio. And, you know, you see a lot of other breweries doing it now too. That classic West Coast kind of feel. I mean, it feels like, you know, it's just brewed right there on the coast.
No, Marcus, man, that dude is, I don't know. Where's he at right now anyways, man?
Man, he's probably finally taken some time off.
Yeah, I know he's been working very, very hard, man. And I'll give him I'll send him a message, man. But you guys are killing it, man.
Yeah, you're probably watching right now just see I don't mess up or anything like that.
I'm sure you'll be fine, man. Well, especially with the with that locks you got right there, man. That should looking right on point, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
I asked this with against the grain. So I mean, sounds like you're doing a lot with this, but what's the volume?
The volume, I really can't give a straight answer. We've seen a lot of growth as we've kind of started rounding the corner with, everything that happened with the shutdowns.
Yeah.
And especially as, direct to consumer has become a thing. We still can't do it here in Texas, but, partnering with Tavor and all these other in our what we're calling our burst distribution program. We just installed a brand new cask automated canning system. 6-head filler. We spent the past 2 months installing it, and I'm onboarding our new packaging manager right now. So she's absolutely crushing it with the canning line. And so we've just been really ramping up growth in the past few months. I mean, we just we doubled our capacity in the past 4 months, and so the numbers that we're seeing now, we still don't know our forecasting, for this summer, because it's just every time we get that next order and it's just something else is just tacked on, which is a huge blessing, obviously, especially in the midst of the pandemic.
Yes.
And we're all really proud. And I mean, the reason why Marcus isn't here tonight, we're all really tired too. So it's this as far as percentages go. I mean, I eat, breathe, drink, sleep this beer. I mean, this is pretty much what I do full time, is just this West Coast IPA. I mean, people, again, it's what really carried us here in San Antonio with kind of the regular craft beer market, and now that we're starting to get into national distribution and things like that, it's just really taken off. I mean, yeah, we've got our lager. I mean, we've got an amazing German Pilsner hardwood classic. We've got we're well known for our hazy IPAs as well, but I mean, that West Coast IPA is just eating up that shelf space for us. And so we're trying. That's been really the biggest problem lately is figuring out, because I'm the production brewer. I take care of all of our core beers. Marcus is still doing his stuff, being creative and making sure that we're feeding both parts of that demographic, right? We're feeding the people that really want to see what we can do creative wise, while also satiating people that just want to see, consistent, product. But I mean, this West Coast, I'd probably say it takes up about 70%.
Wow.
Doing it on the production side. And so we really kind of got into our flow. Like I said, we doubled our capacity. So we had an entire second warehouse we filled with tanks, and we're onboarding some new bright tanks here in the next couple of weeks. But, so we're really finding that balance between, he's brewing his stuff and I'm taking care of the core beers. But I mean, just like one goes into the tank and starts fermenting, I'm immediately brewing another one. And so it's just most of what we're doing right now.
Hey, I want to rewind a little bit. You mentioned something about direct to consumer in Texas. What's that been like, seeing so many other states being able to do that and you not?
Texas fucked up laws, man.
Well, I know.
Yeah, I mean, especially seeing it in general. I mean, especially with Texas, and I'm going to try to keep this as diplomatic as possible. But it's always been rough to kind of see other states really progress. Half of the reason I feel like we sometimes feel so far behind in the industry is like we're not able to kind of keep up with the rest of y'all because of the laws that we have and the structures that are in place. But I mean, the pandemic really just put a big old magnifying glass on that, because with the brewery that was we weren't doing national distribution. We weren't we hadn't done any of that expansion yet. It was on the radar. We're kind of supposed to start rolling that stuff out with CBC because it was supposed to be in San Antonio last year, if you remember.
Yep.
And, that was literally 10 miles away from us. We were supposed to roll out all of that stuff, and we had to, put it all on hold. And so, seeing all these other places and seeing the reports on how direct to consumer soared up, I think, into a crazy double-digit percentages from 2%, and then not seeing any of that piece of the pie because we just couldn't do it. And then they started, a couple things. They let us start doing, alcohol to go, so people could roll up and order beer online and pick it up at the brewery at least. But it's still not anywhere we need it to be. And they actually just passed legislation in the Senate in this past session to allow that to be a permanent piece of legislation. So I mean, we can now offer online orders and things like that and to go for the first time now. So that's kind of where we're at with catching up to all these new trends, and it's hard because you want to keep up with the trends, and you want to see how to do all this stuff, but unless you're actually doing it in practice, you're not experiencing all those growing pains with it. And so you're kind of just having to watch as it all passes you. And in a pandemic with, taproom servers and brew staff, we're all struggling, to just hopefully keep the lights on, for another month. It was really infuriating. And there were a lot of huge pushes to go and support the local, craft brewers. I mean, I'm sure everywhere, but it really would have helped to have that direct consumer over the past year. But we're hopeful. I mean, that legislation, we progressed through that pretty fast. So I think within the next few years, we're going to start to see that for us, and we're going to be prepared for that as well. Especially as we start to get into this burst distribution model that we're doing across the nation.
Yeah, just keep on brewing the good beer you guys are brewing, man, and keep fighting that good fight, man. I'm sure laws we pass, it will benefit the breweries, in Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we owe everything to our customers and the consumers and the people that come and drink beers with us. But even just seeing them go that extra mile, everyone was struggling there during the pandemic, and them coming to support us was just enormous. It was so humbling. And not only that, them going the extra distance and organizing calls to, call your representative and things like that. And they were like out there doing the work and really showing that they, there's a need for this in order, because these are families around here. We all have our own families and lives, and just if we're trying to play, politics with distribution, it's you're hurting people,
Yeah, exactly. I hate fucking politics, man.
Me too.
But you have 100 supporter always here, man, from Cali, man.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate any help that we can get, and just having us on is huge. So thank you. We're humbled. We're humbled.
You want to?
So we got some questions, right?
Yeah, we're gonna speak on the people.
All right.
We're gonna pull some questions.
Let the people
forum.
speak.
That's a big one here. So you're all rubbing all your bald faces in the right. What?
Oh, okay. So
Where do you see IPAs going in the next?
I can pull it back. How's that?
Yeah. Nice.
I'm not jealous, dog. You got long hair. We're bald and shit.
General questions as you're on this beer all the time. You said, but where do you see the future of IPAs kind of going? At least maybe let's do like in Texas. That'd be a good start, and then nationally.
He says clear versus hazy.
But
more or less.
But I like to get like the vibe in Texas, and then go from there.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much after I saw the the Brute IPA hit the scene for it felt like 5 minutes, I stopped trying to guess what was coming next.
Yeah.
It was. I heard feelings out there. If you're a Brute IPA, you love what you love. Don't let anybody dim your shine. But after that started becoming a thing, I stopped trying to predict what was going to become the next hot thing. Honestly, I mean, I could have never guessed that was going to be on it. But I mean, I think we're starting to find some balance. I mean, I think it's going to be less about who can do the next new thing and who can do what is currently being done the best. Mm-hmm. And how are you going to optimize your processes? Because a lot of us, we're all now, with all the technology communication, I mean, craft beer professionals groups and things like that, all these seminars and vendors being able to come out and send you their products and all that, we're all having the same access to a lot of the same materials in terms of, what we can stay on top of the trends pretty fast as far as, what we can see coming up. That being said, there's something to be said, especially as a production where I'm pretty biased towards this fact, and I love being creative with the IPAs and things like that. Something to be said about being able to brew the same product consistently, batch after batch after batch. I mean, it doesn't matter if you make a really slam dunk hazy IPA that's just killing it in your tap room, you're selling, and great for you. That's awesome, but you have to be able to brew that every single time, or else, because there's always been people brewing great beer, but now there's people brewing world-class beer. And then there's people brewing world-class beer consistently. And if someone can get basically what you're brewing on a more consistent basis and flavor profile, I mean, they're going to go there. And that's really where, we've got the kind of, I guess to be crass, the new money in here with all of the kind of, especially seeing the pastry stouts and the fruited sours coming onto the scene and people trying to change that up. And now, that those newer people to the scene, they're starting to, get into the more classic stuff. So, you've got people that never would have touched a 60-minute dogfish, in their life, now just like lining up for our next, double dry hop West Coast release or something, and it's really awesome to see. And so you have to really nurture that. And I think that's really going to be about, I don't see, and this is the danger, right? This is what, people have always gotten burned on in history is, on the flip side of that is, well, there's nothing new to be done. And you can't ever have that mindset. And that's why I think the dynamic that we have here.
Never say that. Never, ever say that.
Never, ever say that, and so I think, Marcus is always looking for the next big thing. Again, the West Coast, especially in Texas, I think that classic drier, bright West Coast is really taken over. Like I said, we were still kind of in that, early 2000s phase of, go ahead and balance it out. The buzzword was multi-backbone, if you wanted to sound like you knew what you were talking about, kind of thing. And, some people were throwing, caramel 20, caramel 40, caramel 60, even caramel 80 in their IPAs and stuff, like, yeah, 10 to 20% up there. And, in Texas, I'm sweating right now. We're having a rainstorm. I'm still sweating because it's just so hot all the time. You're drinking, you're out in the, on the river or something like that. You don't want to drink something that, it's going to leave you dehydrated. So that clean classic is really making a comeback in a big way. But hazies are still king down here. And it's always funny to see that argument.
There, but here too, everywhere.
Yeah. No, yeah. They aren't going away. I remember a brewer I used to work for a few years ago told me, he was like, I think these are just a fad. And that was the worst mistake I think he ever made, because now it's just still blowing up like crazy. So, I think finding that balance between, don't just chase after one thing, chase what's happening and do it well and do it consistently.
Yes.
I very, very much love your fucking answer, man.
Yeah, those are great words.
Yeah, Jessie. So we got one more question from the audience. Let's do this. All right.
Yeah, hey. By the way, I just want to shout out to this guy. He's one of our mods, and he's been moderating a little bit tonight, like just make sure everyone's questions get posted. So there you go. How has the Black is Beautiful initiative started? How started your brewery impacted?
Okay. How has the Black and Beautiful initiative started by your brewery impacted the brewery?
How's it generally? Has it been well received? I think so.
Yeah, no.
There's I've lived in Texas all my life, and God bless Texas, and we're all really proud. But I think there's a certain stigma about living in the South and kind of dealing with any sort of initiative like this. Yeah. I think you're always kind of on your guard to see anything could really happen with this, and we were blown away by the support from the local community here and the worldwide community. Every day we would come in and we would see what was happening on the west side. We're just completely blown away. We just thought it would be, a few of the breweries Marcus had connections with, and no, the entire community rallied. The line I think at one point was 6 hours long for our initial release of the beer, and it was just insane. I had friends driving up from all over the state trying to get some, and it was especially in a situation as tumultuous as what was happening when, that was really triggered by the what happened with George Floyd, and Marcus just really felt like he was talking to Jeffrey Stuffins from Jester King, and they were talking like, we got to do something, and Marcus and he took that platform. There were I think at the time less than 100 Black-owned breweries in the nation, and Weathered Souls was at the moment I think one of the only ones in Texas. Yeah. And so there, Marcus, I think, realized that, there are very few people with the opportunity and the platform and the worldview, importantly. Because I look like every brewer you've ever seen at GABF. Like, I'm just a white dude, beard and tattoos. There's enough of me in the industry making statements, but here we have a Black man directly impacted by what was going on, and just finally felt like he reached the breaking point of like, I need to do something. And it was so humbling to see, and it was an honor to be a part of it. Honestly, even getting to brew the beer with him was surreal. And like every passing day, it was just amazing. And, it got a little hectic. We didn't expect it to really affect the business like it did, in terms of, Marcus thought he would, it started with, stuff like this, doing podcasts and interviews in the brewing industry. And then it was just like national media, international media, meetings with people and figuring out how, not just like glamorizing it, and that was what I was really thankful for is the authenticity of the brewing industry in response to this. Is that it wasn't just glamorized. So everyone see, oh, look how we're helping. Look at us. Look at us. It was like, no, this is an issue.
Yeah.
We need to solve this. We need to take actionable decisions. And I think that's what we're seeing is like all these initiatives started by it to keep, and to address and really take a hard instance of self-reflection at the industry and see like, how can we be more inclusive and starting these initiatives to really get, disenfranchised groups into the forefront. So there's you're not just staring at this all day. And I'm very thankful and honored to be a part of that because it was just the most wild ride I think anybody here had been on. And we're still kind of, I think, in shock about it.
As a person of color, man, thank you, Jessie, for, just being who you are, man. And like I know the struggle, man. And we need more people like you, man. And like Todd, man. Todd, like I didn't know this guy from nowhere, and we met, and he gave me an opportunity, to be here and to brew beer for this industry, and I'm just very thankful, man. And huge shout out to you and to Withered Souls, man. Marcus, I love you, brother.
It was all him, man. I'm just along for the ride.
It's a teamwork. It's a teamwork, bro. It's not the fan, bro.
Thank you for joining us, Jeff.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all having me, and I'm looking forward. Y'all better shoot us an invite for that Lager Fest. My eyebrows perked up on that.
Oh, okay.
He's got it
Okay.
for that slot.
Yeah. Hey.
I'll send you some of my Hellas we just released. It's
All right, that's
Exactly.
all right, that's a deal.
Exactly.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, brother.
We appreciate
Cheers.
it. Thank you.
Have a great night.
Awesome. Yeah,
That was fucking deep, bro.
that was good.
That was deep. And I knew it was going to be deep, man.
No, but yeah, great insights on
No,
a
this
lot
guy,
of
yeah,
different
no,
things.
for real,
So,
man.
yeah, no.
For real.
I got to drink. The one thing I got to drink more of their beer.
No, yeah. I mean, because I was a stout guy. I was a stout guy, and but they brew a lot of real good stouts, man. And frankly, I never had tried another West Coast or hazy.
Yep.
And this is fucking
really good. I think
really
I think
good.
we're seeing a theme tonight too, because a lot of these beers are just like they're right there.
Yes,
They're like,
yeah. 1.5.
1 point. I think it's gonna be
1.5. That was 1.5 percenters, man.
Damn, I think it's gonna happen.
Correct.
All right. Well, cool. We are switching gears soon, and we're gonna go get our new realm.
So who next?
Mitch. Oh, Mitch Steele.
Okay, let's get this.
All right, let's do it. We'll see you in a bit. Oh, Mitch, man, how you doing?
The legend, man.
It's been so long.
How are you, man? Good to see
How are
you.
you?
I'm fine. Yeah, doing well.
So good to see you. I can't remember the last time I saw you, to be honest.
It's
so
been
long.
years.
Well, we were just talking in here. I remember the first time I met you, and it was at upstairs, maybe at the Bell and Hand in Boston.
Yeah.
You were working for Anheuser-Busch at the time.
Right.
You guys were releasing some of your sort of craft beers, and I remember absolutely being blown away because they were amazing. And I was like, holy shit, if Anheuser-Busch releases beers like these, look out. No, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Be careful.
I don't know how many years after that, but you were scooped up by Stone, and I wrote this article on beer.
It was like a month after
Yeah,
that.
was it like a month?
Yeah, I mean, it was,
they're like, holy shit,
Yeah.
what this guy's doing.
that was one of the last things I worked on with Anheuser-Busch, and then I bolted. And yeah, that was crazy. You know, that was they were trying to do a beer based out of the New Hampshire brewery where I was working, and so we came up with 3 different ones. And you're bringing back all sorts of cool memories here.
What was that? Was it like a hop? It was like some hop devil thing.
Yeah, it was called Devil's Hop Yard originally,
Devil's
and because that's a hiking area in New Hampshire, and then we got a cease and desist from Victory with Hop Devil, so we changed the name.
Man.
Well, man, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, I was just talking about the first time I met you, and I was just like blown away. So
Hi,
anyways,
I'm Edgar.
This is Edgar.
I'm a
Yeah.
fan, huge fan.
Hey, Edgar, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just a guy. Humbly, I'm a guy that loves beer, and
Nice.
just excited that you're here and we're talking to you, man.
And we're excited
That we're all
to be
here, man.
So, yeah.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Wow.
How you doing? How you been?
Really busy. I'm doing well. You know, I've lived in Atlanta now for about 1.5 years permanently. I'd been traveling back and forth for several years before that, but we've settled in, you know, and now with things kind of relaxing with the COVID situation, we can start getting out and exploring again and getting to know the city a little bit. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I remember you were splitting a lot of your time, and then finally you kind of recently you shifted over. So.
Yeah, I was getting my daughter through high school in Southern California, and I didn't want to move her when she was in high school. So we commuted. I commuted for 3 years. Yeah, it was tough. I knew it was going to be hard. It was harder than I thought it would be, but you know what? It's done. I survived, so that's all.
You're settled now. You kind of can.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Breathe a little bit.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about this one.
So we started off last year doing a series of double IPAs, and we kind of themed them around monsters and myths. And this was one of the first ones we did last year. And unfortunately, it released right during COVID. So, you know, we weren't able to really push this one the way we wanted to. But it's called Jack Squatch. And apparently Georgia is quite a Bigfoot region. I had no idea until we started working on this thing. But so we had some fun with that. And last year's version was pretty much a straight up double IPA with some C hops in it. And then this one, we changed it up a bit. I was able to get some Lotus hops, which is a new hop variety that's very orangey. And we had some Strata hops. And I thought, that might be kind of a cool combination. And so we put those in the beer and changed up the hopping quite a bit. But, you know, it's 9% double IPA. And, you know, just a lot of Lotus, which is orange rind to me, and the Strata, which is peach and berry and
Dank.
A little bit of dank, kind of a pleasant dank, you know.
Not too overpowering, but I think a lot of the oranges, super citrus orange, but then that little dankiness in the back end, you know, for real, very good.
Yeah, we're really, really excited about this one. This, you know, Lotus is a hop that we discovered during hop selection back in 2019. We were at Hopsteiner, and they had a small experimental batch that they did with Lotus, and I think actually it was a commercial brewery that brewed it, but the beer was just so fantastic. It was I want to say it was a Berliner Weiss with Lotus hops, and it had this hop character and that sourness, and it was just incredible. And so we ended up contracting some on the spot there.
Hell
Right,
yeah.
getting this crazy like tea like linger thing going.
Mhm.
Like tea, like
Yeah.
some kind of tea, right?
Yeah,
like
tea,
you know
yeah.
when you drink tea, man.
I love it. Yeah, it's great. What's it like? What's the hop scene, the IPA scene out where you are now? I mean, you spent so much time out here on the West Coast. What's it like now?
Yeah, it's more of a mix, you know. I mean, hazy IPAs are the number one thing here, but you know, most of the smaller breweries in Georgia are doing rotating hazy IPAs, and we came out with Hazy Like a Fox 5 months after we opened, and it's become our number one selling beer. So we're one of the few breweries in Georgia, and especially the Atlanta region, that's brewing a hazy IPA as a core flagship type beer. And then we've got a couple other IPAs as well. And so what I liked about Atlanta when I first started coming here was that a lot of beer styles hadn't been squashed by the IPA craze yet, you know. So there were beers that were being poured in bars that were beers that I hadn't been able to try in a while, you know, pale ales and things like that. And you know, it was a healthy mix. But you know, as the years have gone on, hazy IPAs have really taken hold.
I know. I remember the time where all the brewers were like, man, I'm never gonna brew a hazy IPA. It's just a fad, and fuck this, and you know, like. But now, like, yeah, now it's even exactly money. Exactly.
I will admit I was a little skeptical when they first came out, but you know what? I got to try some Treehouse hazy IPAs pretty early on, and I was like, okay, I get it. This is cool stuff. You know, this is different. But I had to learn how to brew one. I had been out of brewing. You know, we've been designing and building this brewery. I've been out of brewing for about 1.5 years, and that was right when it was taken off. And so I had to spend a couple of months doing some test batches and figuring it all out. There's a lot of weird stuff in those hazy IPAs that I never would have thought of doing if I hadn't read up and seen what other people were doing. And really interesting brewing process. And so it was a challenge, which is always a good thing for me.
Well, I mean, brewing is like riding a bike, right? Once you already knew how to ride a bike, right? And you know, you stop for a little bit, and you're back at it again, man.
Oh, I was back on the brewing thing. I just had to learn to do the hazy ones.
Yeah,
really, you were down for 1.5 years.
Yeah, so I left Stone in July of 2016, and we started up the brewery at the end of 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you could brew a West Coast or whatever type of brew,
it's Mitch Steele, man.
I mean, no shit. Like I was saying, you could brew a fucking hazy, no fucking problem, bro. With your eyes closed, man. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, cheers. It's a real great beer.
Cheers, man. Thanks.
It really is,
Appreciate it.
I know.
So what's going on with New Realm these days?
So we've got a lot of things going on. You know, when we started out, our company vision was to build some small brewery restaurants in several states in the Southeast. And we kind of shifted gears a little bit when we first started. We were brewing a lot, and we were really worried about running out of space in our Atlanta brewery. And then that's right when the Green Flash Brewery in Virginia Beach got foreclosed on and put up for auction, and we were able to go into Virginia Beach, and all of a sudden we had excess capacity. And so everything else, you know, all the other openings that we were looking at kind of got backburnered a little bit. But just this year, we just finished opening up a brewery and distillery in Savannah, Georgia, which is about 4 hours southeast of Atlanta. And we are taking over a brewery on Daniel Island, which is near Charleston, South Carolina. And they've got a beautiful restaurant there, beautiful brewery. And we're going to be taking that over in about mid-May. So it's been crazy. We've jumped into spirits full on, and yeah. So we're doing all sorts of stuff.
Like cider, seltzers. What about the seltzer game?
Seltzers?
We're doing seltzers, yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, dog. Everyone. I don't care what it is, man. Seltzers. I mean,
Well, let me tell you why. You know, when we opened up Georgia beer laws, if you have a production brewery in Georgia, you can't serve guest beers, you can't serve wine, you can't serve anything that you don't make on premise. And so we had a lot of people coming in that weren't beer drinkers and wanted something else, and so we started making seltzers, and they took off. And that was, you know, I'm not a seltzer drinker, but they were kind of fun, you know, kind of fun to learn how to do.
I don't like it, but I'll accept it.
Relax, man. I know you're old school, dog. I am too a little bit.
I will never brew a seltzer.
You have to do a seltzer?
Fuck it, why not, man?
Oh, it's being recorded, man. People are gonna hear.
Hey, whoa, it's gonna happen, man. Look, man. I already spoke. Yeah, I shouldn't have. You know, hey, it's all good. If Mitch is gonna brew a seltzer, what? I mean, fuck. Well, why? I mean, it's only. I'm gonna fucking brew a seltzer, man. Come on, man.
Let's get back to beer.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
You're right.
You wanna pull some questions from the forum?
Let's get some questions.
All right. Georgia and specifically Atlanta have been in the news a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one thing you'd like to people to know about your city's beer scene that they might not know already?
Oh yeah, gosh, great question. The beer scene in Atlanta is really cool. It's growing fast. There's a lot of breweries still opening up. A lot of really good beer being brewed here. You know, you've got a kind of a core group of 5 or 6 breweries that were here for a long time, and now there's breweries popping up, and neighborhoods are starting to congregate around breweries, and it's really been a cool thing. You know, Atlanta has a couple of the best rated beer bars in the country, and I don't think people know that. You know, there's a bar called the Porter, which is really close to us, and then the Brick Store Pub in Decatur, which is about 5 miles from where we are. Those places are amazing. I mean, they have amazing beer selections. Every beer comes in the right glass. They've got amazing cellars, a huge bottle selection, and you know, they're just really cool places to hang out. And I think that's something that if people come to Atlanta, that's the one thing I tell them to do is go to the Porter and go to the Brick Store Pub and check those places out.
I mean, I love the bricks.
Yeah.
Early days, about when they were just, I don't know, maybe a year or so open. Yeah,
it's still really cool.
I remember the upstairs bar to the left when you go up.
Yeah, with the Belgians and all that. Yeah, it's you know, and then what's cool about both of those places is there's just such a wide variety of beers there. I mean, it's not just, you know, 15 taps of IPA or hazy IPAs. It's everything, classic styles and new styles, and you know, so there's always something, you know, that's interesting to drink there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a random question, but. So we've seen the rise of the tap room, and you know, just all the one brewery's beer right at the tap room. Do you think we're going to see beer bars get some love again?
Yeah, I hope so. I think you know, now that you know people are more comfortable with going out again, I'm hoping people start going back to these really great beer bars that are everywhere in this country and really giving them some love. I know I do. I tend to go to the beer bars more than I go to other breweries, and you know, that's not really a conscious thing for me. It's just that I like having a lot of variety and being able to pick a beer from anywhere in the world, you know, and if I want to. And so that's kind of my jam in right now, is getting back into that. And I hope these people have had such a hard time with this. And I know that they opened up outdoor areas and they're doing to-go food, and they got to-go cocktails approved by the state, and you know, all this kind of stuff. It'd be good to see people start really flocking back to these wonderful spots, you know, where you can really get a nice beer.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah. So everyone out there, go support your local, you know,
as soon as you can, go to your local beer bar.
Beer bar. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's take another question.
Okay, so it's got a blood orange, almost peachiness to it.
Yeah.
Do you prefer fruity or a citrus beer? If so, how do you approach making them?
Well, yeah, that's a loaded question. I think, as far as my preference goes, I like both. I mean, I've been brewing IPAs for a long time, so there's a certain affinity for me and old West Coast IPAs that are citrusy and piney and that kind of thing. But, there's so many new hop varieties coming out now that provide all these really interesting fruity characters to them. And I remember, even back when I was at Stone and doing beers with New Zealand hops and Australian hops and getting all this tropical fruit off of them, that was what drove our IPA program at Stone for many years, was just new hop varieties and new countries, that you could get hops from. And I think this is a good example of one that's more on the fruity side, and I think that's mostly the Lotus. You get that orange peel and peach, and I think that's exactly what I get out of this beer as well. And for me, it's as a hophead and somebody who really likes hoppy beers, it is fun for me to brew beers that have interesting hop character and aren't the same as something that I've brewed before. And this is a good example of one of those.
Yeah. Perfect.
Very cool.
Perfect. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Good question. Let's
Do we
take
have-
another.
We have
Yeah,
another.
we
We have time. Okay.
Yeah, we
cool.
get time for questions.
All right.
I'm getting a lot of smoky flavor off this beer. It's awesome. How do you achieve that?
I don't know. I don't get smoke off of this.
Yeah, but either. But hey, everyone has a different palate, so
Sometimes people get perceived flavors of tobacco and whatnot. I get that. Sometimes it's kind of, it's more like tobacco meets tea almost, and
yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned tea, and I think that's pretty closely related, and maybe that's what the question was about. It's coming from one of the hops. That's all I know. and whether it's Lotus or Strata, I don't know.
Hey, man, you gotta be real, man. Cause you weren't paying for any smokiness at all, right?
No, it's just an added benefit.
But I get where it's come. I get where that would be.
Yeah.
The suggestion of smoke.
Yeah, because everyone has a different palate, man. So
everyone's tasting something or smelling something a little bit different than everyone else. Yeah, we're not all the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although we do look like brothers.
Yes, exactly. I know. Brother.
All right.
We got another question?
Yeah, let's take another.
All right, let's do this. All right. Okay, man, you're lucky to be around the Brick Store, one of the best beer bars I've ever been to in decades.
There you go.
Of going to beer bars. Also, Verasano's Pizza. Oh, no, let me say it. Verasano's?
I don't know.
Verasano's Pizza has got to be great with beer.
Okay, so I know what I'm doing this weekend. I'm going to go out and get some Verasano's pizza. I haven't had it. So it sounds like a pretty good recommendation. I need to check it out.
All right. Well, there's your answer, man.
There's your answer. Yeah.
We got another one. That was very, very quick to the point, man.
Good.
Okay. Where's that?
No,
okay. All right.
There you go. Oh.
Nice.
There you go.
Okay. So, yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Full circle. And we got time for another one. Nice. So good to see you, Mitch.
It's good to see you too, man. How's LA treating you?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't beat the weather, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it was hot as hell today, though.
It's hot where we are now. I live near Venice, where it's 15 degrees cooler, and it's always the same temperature almost year round.
Yeah. But it was 90 degrees today.
It was 90, yeah. But
big time.
Back home, it was almost it's 69. It was getting a little chilly. So
shit. Fucking lucky one.
I know.
Okay.
All right, we got another question.
All right, one more.
Mitch, this beer is very tasty. This feels like a great beer that you, Todd, Edgar, and the 551 of us are live streamer. Chug to Kim. Oh, you want chug? Do we have another?
Oh shit. Okay. Can we do a BeerThugLife signature beer chug right now? Okay. So
we have to ask. Mitch is the guest.
Yes.
And we won't do it unless Mitch
wants to do it. So
if he doesn't want to do it,
that's fine. That's fine. We could do a small little chug.
You do a little
Mitch.
chug.
So Mitch, I started as my brand I was chugging beer from all over the country. I didn't care what it was, and it became into something I became a craft beer influencer, which I hate that. I fucking hate that word. But anyways, now I'm brewing my own beer. But anyways, so they want us to chug a beer, beer, just a little bit, if you're cool with that.
Yeah, let's go for it.
We got another
Fucking A, man. All right.
can?
Yes,
we got another can.
Hold on, we got another can. Give me 1 second. Let me go get it.
Yeah, so he went from being known as like doing cholo chugs. No, the first time I met him, I've got a couple of me chugging, and it's awesome. He went from that to now brewing his own beers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you have that kind of passion for the beer, it's fun to do that.
All right. So, I'm just a person like everyone else, man, that loves beer. And, you already know, man.
Yeah, we'll just do a little bit. Yeah. You don't need to explain it. Sorry.
Well, some of these people, they don't know.
Everyone loves you. It's all good. It's all good.
I know you love me, brother. All right. So we're going to chug right now.
Yep.
The Jack Squatch. All right. So
raise them up all 500 and something who are
exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're tuning in later, you're gonna have to,
catch up.
Too. Yeah.
All right. So Mitch, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for everything, man. And
Thank you,
man. Cheers. Fucking A, man. Now I can die. In peace.
Chug the beer with Mitch.
Of course, man. Now, like I said, my life is fulfilled. That's it. I took the beer with Mitch.
Talia just said Mitch beat both of you guys.
No.
Twice the amount of beer.
I don't claim I'm the fastest chugger, man. Okay. Hey.
You're like the long haul. You're in it for life.
This is a marathon. Okay, not a sprint, right?
Yeah, for you guys, this was my one beer of the night, so I felt like I could handle it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, man. For real.
And
you made my day.
Hope to see you soon in person, having a beer. Maybe
same here. I hope you guys can start doing the in-person fests again, and we can travel. I know. We sent a couple brewers to one of your fests in 2019. They had a great time, and I'd love to be able to do that again.
Love to see you there.
Yeah,
maybe I know.
If it's possible, I will go. It's just a question of what else I got on my plate. But I got to start getting out again. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. Thank you.
It was an honor. Thank you so much for chugging with us.
Great to see you both.
See you, Mitch.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Dude, I just chugged the fucking beer with fucking Mitch, bro.
Yeah, Mitch is great.
No, that's fucking crazy, man. Like this is the best night I ever had.
You gonna be all right? You gonna be all right? You all right, bro?
Yeah, dog.
Well, guess what?
You know what?
Guess what? We're gonna be drinking a beer. I don't know if maybe Vinnie will chug with us.
Oh my God, dog! I mean, like for real, man. Like that's fucking crazy, man.
So everyone, go get your.
So please, when you say the question, say, exactly,
okay.
double dry hop.
Yeah, go get them. Go get them. We're gonna get ours. We'll see you in a couple minutes. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, dog. I'm all right, dog. You know what? I'm all right, dog. All right. I'm hungry though.
Oh yeah, I got Pringles over here. All right, let's go.
Oh, man.
there he
Oh,
is.
fuck.
What's going on, guys?
Vinny.
Vinny,
How's everything?
Awesome. How are you?
Okay, before I know this is your show, but I'm just going to say I've been drinking with you all the way through. I've had every beer with you. I'm right there. So
Good.
DDH is next.
Yeah.
Vinny, I'm a huge
So you heard us when we said like,
fan,
we mentioned
man.
maybe Vinny will chug with us.
I saw that.
All right, good.
Natalie saw it too. So
Hey,
hey,
Natalie. So
So-
little video bomb before she goes settles
Nice.
down with Ferdinand Growler and Matilda, our cats.
So much.
Thanks for
Good
having
to see you.
us.
Yeah.
Hey.
So
there's 4 beers that I had.
There you go. Thanks, Natalie. Yeah, center Vinny. There you go. She's got your back, man. That's all.
Yeah.
Of course,
See ya.
for every strong man, there's a stronger woman. You
this
know?
brewery wouldn't exist, Edgar, without Natalie.
Yes, exactly. Well, the same thing with Maria,
Yep.
my
So-
wife. So,
And show this to Sean Lawson. 3 fingers of foam.
oh,
He said 2.
Oh shit!
Damn. East Coast, West Coast.
Hey, let's go.
I was just asked in an article, it was like a pass me on beer. What would the IPA be that you drink? And I picked one of Sean's beers. So it was great to start out with a Lawson's beer tonight.
Yeah. Got some
Wow.
great beers tonight, man.
Yeah, I know.
And we're ending
Seriously.
We're ending
Real
on this
good
very,
beers.
very special beer.
Last but not least,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Pliny the Elder. So Pliny the Elder to me,
But it's a
the double dry hop. I'm sorry, this is
Yeah.
double dry hop. But
2-stage.
Tuesday. I'm
Which
sorry.
Vinny's
I'm
gonna
sorry.
explain
I'm
to
sorry.
us.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I will, because I have very strong opinions on what DDH means, double dry hop means.
Oh, let's just get right
Yes,
into it
yeah,
now.
All right. I'm going to ask you,
now.
Todd, do you remember the beers? What did we drink? Last time we saw each other was the Belgian Beer Fest.
Yes.
And what did we drink the night before? It was your brother and Tommy Arthur and I.
What did we drink?
You were fucked up.
Nah, we weren't that bad.
No.
We drank
Never in public, only on Zoom calls.
yeah, several pints of Guinness.
Oh yeah, you
Remember?
Oh my God. Yeah, no, we went. You're right. Yeah, no, we hung out at old Irish bars and we were drinking a ton of pints of Guinness.
Yeah.
Until I think it was Tommy who was like, "I'm done." And I think he tapped out.
He tapped out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not to burn Tommy on this call, but
Hey.
if Tommy didn't tap out, I caught a gleam in Vinny's eye where he would have been like, "Todd, we could have been doing this all night." But yeah, go ahead.
I love Guinness.
Oh,
I know you do too.
We all love Guinness.
Especially when
Yep.
you're in an old school bar in the
Uh-huh.
Boston area,
Yep.
and it's served in pristine condition.
Yep.
But anyways, go ahead.
And I remember your brother going, "Hey, I know this bar real close. Do you
Yep.
like Guinness?" I'm
Yep.
like, "Yeah, let's go." That was awesome. So,
It was.
anyways, this is an IPA festival, not a stout
It
festival.
Yes. It's not a stout festival, right?
or plug for Guinness.
Or plug for
Guinness
exactly.
is not a sponsor of the IPA
No.
Fest at all. Not yet, at least.
But shout out to
anyways,
Guinness, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, we want to talk about double dry
Yeah,
hop,
we-
2-stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just like best friends right here, like this is things, you know what I mean? From
All right,
fucking
so-
Hudson River.
I'm looking at his carpet. He's got some thing in the background there.
You
Plugged
see,
in.
that's Growler that's on the chair behind me. That's
Yes.
one of our cats.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw the cat in the video of what was the brewery that had the crazy promo video against the great.
Yeah, it gets
Against the
rain.
grain.
Yeah, yeah.
Against the
Yeah,
grain.
yeah, I saw the cat ran through, so that was cool.
Even he watched the video, and you haven't. But you haven't watched the
I'm
video.
sorry, dog.
I'm all over this IPA fest. This is cool. I'm tasting all kinds of IPAs I've never had before.
Damn, dude, you gotta
But,
get.
but
with it.
Benny has time, bro. Like, you know, he has people work for him. You know, like, I'm doing all this shit by like literally by myself with, you know, two or three people, you know, my partner, whatever, you know. But anyway, let's talk about Vinny, man.
Yes.
Russian
So,
River.
so often, Edgar, when Natalie and I have done Zoom calls, we do it in our kind of great room, dining room, and we do it from the bar, and then behind is our mantle above the TV. And my dad was a television lighting director,
and he won an Emmy. He's actually won 2 Emmys, and one of his Emmys, 'cause my dad has passed away, and my mom lives close to me, and there's an Emmy that usually sits behind me when I do these things. Yeah,
crazy. Awesome, man.
Eventually, we're going to talk about the beer.
I'm about to get a religious experience again, dog.
Here we go. Oh, you had some earlier today.
So 4 beers that I've drank gave me a religious experience. So it was Pliny the Elder, the first one, and I
hear you on that one.
That's why I'm like super excited and stoked to be in front of the legend Vinnie. And like I said, I wish I could make a beer even remotely close to what you guys make, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And everyone knows there's only one beer that's better than this.
Of course.
Blind Pig.
Blind Pig is bomb.
So our
look.
I'm just saying,
I know.
Everyone's thinking.
Actually,
Vinnie can Blind Pig and send to IPA Fest. That's what everyone's thinking right now.
Within the Russian River family, Taylor and Steven. Taylor runs our lab. Steven's our production manager. They did March Madness. They took every beer that we make and they figured out and they plugged it into some app. And long story short, in the end, it came to, and every week our HR director ran this. And in the end, it came down to Happy Hops and Blind Pig. Todd, what do you think won?
Blind Pig.
Blind Pig won.
Blind Pig.
Yeah. So at Russian River, Blind Pig won the March Madness.
Happy Hops. That was a really good beer, man.
Thanks. Yeah. It's funny talking about Blind Pig, and I know it's DDH, but Henry from Monkish is always like, it's only 1 pound per barrel dry hop. I'm like, yeah. It's still like as classic old school. So.
Dude, I use 7 pounds, almost 7 pounds per barrel for a fucking beer that we drop it tomorrow.
Maybe you should learn a word that starts with letter E. Efficiency.
Vinnie, after this, I'm gonna text you. Hopefully, I'll get your number. And can we chop it up? But hopefully,
secrets.
Please.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, secrets.
Save me some money.
Yes, save me some money.
Yeah.
Hops are super expensive.
They are.
Big time.
They are. Yeah.
Big time.
All right, we're gonna get.
But anyways, I'll start being a fanboy.
Yeah, so we've, I think I figured out going down that list, by far we're the oldest brewery in this festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, by far. We opened in 1997, and Pliny's been around since 99, regular Pliny, not DDH. And the DDH was actually a different beer a year ago. We always have done this promo, Pliny for President, but it just did T-shirts, hats, that sort of thing. So this year, Natalie goes, we should bottle or can Pliny the Elder in, but have our artists do a Pliny for President logo. And I'm like, okay, I'll commit to canning it, but it's going to be a different recipe. I'm going to change it up. And that's where we started double dry hopping it. So after the presidential run, I was like, well, we can't wait 4 years to bring this out again. So I had our artists then recreate a label which is what it is, which is the DDH now. But what that means is that in 4 years from now, when there's another presidential election, I'm not just going to take this beer and switch the can label. We're going to I'll come up with some iteration that's maybe somewhere between
triple dry hop.
Well, we got plenty of the younger already for that. So, but younger gets 4 dry hop editions actually. So I don't know, something
really
different.
Beer, by the way, it's really good.
So, anyways, that's how it came to be. But it was really based on this idea of biotransformation, which is something I talked a little bit about on the video, and it's kind of new, and it's something that's more known in the wine industry. Yeah. But essentially, you take a yeast that's known to have this enzyme, beta-glucosidase, and it can just basically convert some of the flavor profiles and compounds in the hops. And you have bound compounds and free compounds, and these bound compounds need to be liberated by the yeast. And that was the idea behind this. And that's why we dry hop it 3 days into fermentation. And then we make the second dry hop 3 days later. And I looked through all the questions on on our booth, and that was one of them. And so that kind of explains why we did that, because we wanted biotransformation. But I specifically said 2-stage double dry hop, because to me, like, we as an industry need to get our shit together. and come up with some terminology because people just use
You're
these
right,
terms
you're correct
loosey
about
goosey.
that. Big time, big time.
And I get it, it's marketing, but to me, in my opinion, double dry hop means you take your original dry hop load and you double the quantity of it. So regular Pliny is 2 pounds per barrel. We use 4 pounds per barrel in this. And then 2 stage means simply we did it over 2 stages. We added it, the first dry hop 3 days in, and then 3 days later we added the second dry hop. So it's 2 pounds per barrel, and then 3 days later 2 pounds per barrel. So
Your opinion means everything.
Also, it's math. It's good.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's good. Use math.
Yeah. Hey, take fucking notes of this, dog. For real.
What's interesting about this beer, if you do a side by side next to regular Pliny, even though it has twice the dry hop load, it actually is less bitter. And our lab has proven that doing bittering units tests through our spectrophotometer. And why that is when you dry hop with more hops and it's above like 30, 35 BUs, the hops that you dry hop with actually absorb the isomerized alpha acids that normally are the bittering hop. It's crazy. Crazy that
geeky shit, man, for real.
Yeah.
Man.
So,
I love it.
But it gives DDH like a softness compared to regular Pliny. I mean, we've done dozens of side-by-side tastings with the 2 beers, and we have a pretty extensive lab program. And so, we see it all the time in the numbers and the flavor.
What's next for this sort of like Pliny? It's become like a series now. What do you think might be next?
Yeah, I was really reluctant to do anything beyond younger, and the Pliny for President. I think it was. I didn't catch the name of the gentleman from Weathered Soul, but
Jessie,
he was
Jessie.
Yeah, just talking about the difficulties of getting through COVID, and Pliny for President saved our ass. I mean, we ended up brewing like 30 75 barrel batches in the Windsor brewery, and then in Santa Rosa like another dozen or so, and we canned it all. And thankfully Natalie and I came up with this idea. So I don't know that we'll do anything more with the Pliny series other than when we do Pliny for President again in a few years. I'll do some variation of Pliny for that to somehow make it even hoppier, but not in Pliny the Younger, because the Younger has its own flavor profile and whatnot.
Just don't do Pliny the Seltzer, and we're good.
Nope.
We're good.
Well, so when I was just watching Mitch, I texted him and I said, you did great, but I have something that actually started with Tim at Sante Darius, which he passed on to Sean Hill Farmstead, and then Sean passed it on to me recently. The 3 of us and Natalie, we categorize breweries in 2 groups, either those that make seltzer and those that don't. Yes. That's it. And we're a brewery that will never make a seltzer, period.
May I suggest Pliny?
I have no issue with anyone that makes seltzer.
Pliny's a hazy.
They do hazies already.
No, I know, but a Pliny that kind of looks like hazy, or I'm just saying.
I would like to suggest not.
Yeah,
I'm suggesting that's my suggestion. You have your own opinion, dog.
We're gonna fight after.
Okay, it's all good, dog. But I think that's a fucking dope ass name, Pliny.
There's only been 1 keg of hazy Pliny, and I sent it to John from Alchemist. He was at the brewery once, and we were drinking Pliny off the tank. He goes, "This is awesome, hazy." He likes everything hazy, and he goes, "Would you send me some?" I sent him a 5-gallon keg of off the tank, and that was it. But otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Good. Yes.
Sorry, Edgar.
Okay. It's all good. You know what? My life has been a lot of fucking, like bullshit, whatever. But you know what? I'm just happy to be here right now,
learning about this delicious beer we're having.
Yeah.
But anyway,
the cool thing about adding the more dry hops is like Pliny is really citrus, pine, a tiny bit of dank, and it's quite bitter. And I talked on my little video how bitterness is really important to me, but DDH goes more towards stone fruit, and it's less. I mean, there's pine and the citrus there, but the stone fruit from the Amarillo hops just comes through big time. And I love that. I love how it's just a little bit different than regular Pliny. It's like a modern version of Pliny the Elder.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I'm not an Amarillo hop fan, but fire.
Do you want to take some questions from the forum?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was before I forget, whatever we don't get to, I'll jump on BeerAdvocate tomorrow and answer the questions. So Sean Lawson was ahead of the game. God, he's making the rest of us.
I was like, yeah, Sean after.
That's what I said. I'm like, it takes the element of surprise out.
He's like, I already got him.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, I love your brewery, and I must visit every time I'm in the area. Yeah, I'm gonna go up soon. Oh, there we go. I love the highlight feature.
Yeah, that's good. That's the first one tonight.
Yeah, it was. Oh, so you have been tuning in.
I have been on. Yep.
I love the OG craft brewery.
Yeah, as an OG. Go ahead, say it.
As one of the OG craft breweries in America, how do you both preserve your status while also shining the light on the next generation of craft brewers?
Oh,
wow.
Also,
Edgar,
also,
Todd.
I'm not chugging this one.
Sorry, but I'm not. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
I'll chug a beer with you, Edgar, at the end.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do it. So get your camera ready. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? It's changing the recipe up a little bit. It's experimenting. It's constantly, it's not resting on your laurels. And it's, we've made slight changes to the recipe of regular Pliny the Elder over the years. It's not major changes. The backbone of Pliny the Elder is still Simcoe, but we've changed the malt bill a little bit. Yeah, we used a little crystal malt in it early on, 2-3%. Now we don't use any. We've changed the malt. Our base malt is a higher color malt, so we can still get color from it. But for us, the main reason for that is that crystal malt promotes oxidation, and that's something I've learned later on. And so the roasting component of making malt of crystal malt gives you oxidation. So there's reason to not use it. So anyways, just making like small tweaks to the recipes over the years, testing. We have a little 5-barrel pilot brewery now. I just did an experiment yesterday to try to mitigate hop creep, which is this issue where the hops are causing a secondary fermentation, and that secondary fermentation takes your beer out of spec, but it also makes diacetyl, buttery. And so we're trying to figure out ways to get around that. And so just constantly making tweaks and dumping beer if it's not right. So
you could dump them into little 16-ounce cans and send them my way. I'm just saying
12 even growler, I don't give a fuck,
empty milk jugs,
whatever, dog.
Water bottles,
shit,
whatever we got around the house. Yeah, that's cool.
Let's take another question. All right.
What's your favorite moment in the brewing process?
Opening a fresh bag of hops. And just and sometimes it takes me back to being on the selection table up in Yakima or wherever, or in Oregon, wherever we're at. There's just nothing better than that. It's just opening and getting that amazing whiff of whatever it is, citrus, stone fruit, pungent, dank. It's just such an amazing thing to have. And
we got in the house going like,
yeah. And then I would also say walking through the experimental hop field with Jason Peralt of Peralt Farms and Hop Breeding Company, just rubbing hops. And we've been rubbing this hop HBC 692 for like 7 years. And we sponsored it a few years ago, and they just released it last year. It's called Talus. We make this beer called Apical Dominance with it, and that hop just rocks my world. I know everyone's talking about Strata right now, but to me, Talus is it right now. I love Strata, but Talus is crazy.
Got a yes.
Yeah. It's like pink grapefruit, and it's we call it the Greyhound hop because it's like drinking a Greyhound, but it smells, but it's a hop.
Yeah. Cool.
You know what? I'm gonna try that hop next time, though.
You should.
For real.
I think we have time for another.
One more before we do a chug. Okay.
We have another. Oh, you gave away Remember, anyways.
No.
Hey, Vinnie.
What we got, dog? It's
Hey,
all good.
Vinnie, could you describe the difference between Pliny the Elder and Pliny the Younger?
Yeah. So
Age-old question.
yeah, age-old question. So younger is just a big version of the elder. It does have a different hop bill, and I do tweak the hops every year when we release younger. Just always changing it little by little. It's been 10.25% alcohol for many years now, but yeah, the hops change slightly, but the foundation of it is the same, and you get that same phenomenon where younger, even though it has more bittering hops added, actually tastes less bitter because of the same thing I explained earlier.
Yes. I've been in line for Pliny the Younger for, I think the most it was 5 hours. You can try it out. Really? Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Thank you, Edgar. Thank you.
I'm here with fucking Vinnie.
Yeah.
The guy, you know, like, what the fuck, man? I could just die right now and I'm good. My life has been, just, that's it. I'm good. Even though my son went to Princeton and about to be a lawyer, all kind of shit, but
don't die yet. We got one more question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we got one more question.
Go ahead. Yeah. But I don't want to die right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what the fuck I mean?
What did you do before brewing? You seem to be a very strong chemistry beer.
Yeah. Oh, the chemist, dog. I don't know.
He's
biologist.
It's a little inside thing, but once in a while, I'll text Vinnie once in a while, and he'll text me back.
Okay.
I love that he geeks out into the sort of just inner workings of stuff with the beer.
Yeah,
I love that.
Anyway. I am a geek too. Okay, go ahead, Vinnie.
Todd. I'm a hardworking C+ student, so I have to work really hard at that. I have to read something 5 times or listen to the podcast multiple times, but
you don't come across like that.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah,
A motherfucking plus.
A plus.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I made wine before I did this.
Right. Yeah.
I grew up. Are you guys down in Southern California? I assume right now.
We're here,
El Segundo.
El Segundo.
So you're what? Maybe an hour and a half from Temecula.
So my mom actually lives in Murrieta,
Yeah.
which is literally
right next door. So my parents planted the first vineyard in Temecula in 1968, and opened the third winery there in '78. And my mom, after my dad passed away, my mom stayed there for a couple of years, and then we moved her up here. So now she lives about a mile from us. But I grew up down there, and I made wine, worked in my family's winery, and worked in the vineyard. And that's where I started homebrewing. I started homebrewing in San Diego. Then I was homebrewing in the basement of the winery, which is you can't really call it homebrewing when you have slope floors to a drain that goes out to a wastewater field.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Whatever you say, it's all good, dog.
We got a little bit left on our glasses.
Okay. So
if you drink it as quick as you can.
This is the moment I've been waiting for.
I've been drinking more. So
Vinnie, would you want to do a chug with me?
Todd?
Yeah.
I just opened the fresh beer.
Oh, so all we have is just this.
That's fine.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, so my partner, it was his birthday today, right? So I gave him my Pliny.
It was yours, not mine.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So I gave him my Pliny. Oh, but he's opened up something else.
I'm drinking STS.
Yes, in a can.
In a can.
I know. Okay.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you guys didn't catch it,
I saw the Lagerfest announcement. Nice job.
Saw that, yeah. You saw that you were on that. I wonder what beer you're bringing. There you go. Thanks, Brett.
So he's gonna be there.
Yep. With the STS pill.
Of course.
In a can.
Yep.
And he's fucking smart because he's about to chug a fucking pilsner. He ain't gonna chug a fucking double triple IPA, dog. Like my dumb ass.
He's like,
and now I'm gonna fucking pass the fuck out of the fucking couch and shit, you know.
I guess we need a fresh beer.
Can we get a fresh beer, please?
Yeah,
something light.
It doesn't have to be a DDH, Edgar. That's okay. I won't hold it against you.
It's proper.
Yeah. No stout, please. Something light. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dear.
You could die after the chug.
I could die after the chug.
How do you like? I mean, I'm sure you love it, but how do you like? How would you compare STS in the bottle versus the can?
You know, that's a great question. And this is a general answer that it doesn't matter what style of beer it is. When you're canning beer, you tend to lose more carbonation when you're filling cans because it's a wider mouth. I mean, I was during the whole Pliny the Younger thing, I was on BeerAdvocate a lot. I was making some responses and stuff. And I did see something about like, why don't they just can it? Beer is always better in a can. That's actually not true. All due respect to whoever wrote that. Beer will always have a lower total package oxygen, which is what all brewers should judge their beer by, is with TPO. And because of the wider opening on a can, you end up having more exposure to oxygen, but you lose more CO2. So when we can our lagers, we tend to overcarbonate it in the bright tank so that when it ends up in the can, it should be right where we want it to be. So that's what we did with this beer. The very first time we canned Velvet Glow, our Helles, it was flabby. It didn't have the snappiness that we needed from the CO2. So we learned, and now we overcarbonate. There you go.
You just give me a sour to chug?
Huh?
He did.
Hey.
He gave me one of his.
Chug one, you know, hey, come on, man.
Right now or later. Sour ale.
Mango,
okay, so I'm gonna say, like, hopefully you could, give me a. So I want to send you some of our beers so you can try it out, and you let me know, what you think about them and everything. And
I'd love to try it.
Be honest, okay? You let me know.
I'm nothing but honest.
Yes, I can always tell.
Yeah.
So let me begin this, okay? So start it up. 3, 2, 1. What's up, homies? Your boy Edgar from BeerThugLife. I'm here at the IPA Fest from BeerAdvocate. I'm here with Todd.
What's up?
And Vinnie.
Hey.
From Russian River. And we're about to do this chug, man.
Yes, we are.
Cheers, motherfuckers.
Cheers. Love you guys.
You're pretty fucking good, man.
My esophagus is
no,
intact.
I don't care who you are, man. Some people will say,
doing that with a sour beer, man.
Sour beer, yeah, just like.
But it's not too sour. It's not too sour.
No, it's more fruity burn.
Yeah, something like that. We'll let him decide.
I'll eat some Pringles. I'll be okay.
Some beer.
I'll be okay. Just some
No.
Pringles right here.
Be good to go.
All right.
Thank you, Vinnie.
Hey,
so much, man.
Thanks for having me. This was great. Loved being a part of it, and totally honored being, I guess an OG brewer to be asked to do this.
No, you're
really meant a lot to us.
Pioneer.
Yeah,
that's who you are.
Thank you.
We'll see you. I'll talk to you soon, but we'll see you at Lagerfest.
Yeah, we will see you at Lagerfest, and I'm looking forward to the to doing that video as well.
Yes, nice. Thank you, Vinnie.
Thanks, Vinnie.
Love you guys. See ya. Cheers,
brother.
Yep.
What the fuck, dog? Like, oh my god, man.
Okay? You all right? You all right? Take deep breaths.
I'm hyperventilating right now, dog.
Right. Yeah. Well, while he's recovering, we're gonna record it. We're recording all this. We're gonna post it. You can watch it later.
Man,
you all right?
Yeah, I'm good, dog.
You okay?
I'm good. You know what, man?
Don't die on me.
Thank you, brother.
Don't die on me.
Thank you, brother.
No, thank you.
For real. You know what? I ain't gonna be a punk right now. You know what? Yeah, I loved it, man. Cheers, motherfucker. No, it was a great fucking event, man. I can't wait to do it live.
Tomorrow it's gonna be all hazies tomorrow. 6, right? Starting at the same time.
Yeah.
5 Pacific. Much later, 8 o'clock Eastern.
I like hazies too, man. But West Coast. West Coast. I think tomorrow is gonna be a lot of more people because there's
the hazies.
exactly.
Yeah, the hazies. It's gonna happen. Yeah. But remember to buy some gear, support the cause.
Of course, man.
Yep.
Come on, man. This is a dope ass shirt right here. IPA Fest. BeerAdvocate.
And a big shout out to Halftime again. Thank you.
Halftime. Thank you so much for shipping my beer, and that shit was still cold.
Yeah. And thanks to all of you for tuning in. Do you want to do a little pre afterwards? A pre-party.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, a post. We'll do a pre tomorrow. Oh yeah, we're gonna do a pre-party tomorrow. A post right now.
Let's do this.
All right.
Good.
So if you're on BeerAdvocate, we're gonna send you a little alert on the website. We're gonna come to our Zoom call. We got to set it up though, because I'm not at home. We're in El Segundo.
Look.
Give us a couple minutes.
We're about to get fucked up. Just give us a couple minutes.
We're gonna get fucked up. Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah. All right.
Dude, this was going to be smooth.